And welcome to Game Changer World. Listeners, we have a very special guest with us tonight. Mr. Tuff Tony, how you doing tonight, man?
What up, man? How you doing?
Really
Game
good.
Changer World, two Tuff Tonys in the motherfucking house.
Gotta love it, baby. Yeah, I'm waiting. Yeah, see, here we go. Juggalo's already showing up tonight.
That's what's up. Much but love, man. They got my back, bro, through thick and thin. Nothing but Juggalo love up in this bitch, bro.
Look at this. Everybody's rolling in right now. Let's go here. Clown, nice to see you. West Coast correspondent, great one. Good to see you. Clown, Crow Fairy Tale, Clown. Who else we got? Matt Brown in here. Zach Minger. There we go. Our Juggalos. Whoop, whoop. Reed Harris Cooper. Okay, we'll just keep rolling. Patrick Scroggins, good to see you guys. WWE Sucks is in. God, it's a good night, baby. We love you guys. And he says, as Violent J says, consider this a takeover.
Yes.
All right. So, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm fucking blessed, bro. You know, look, I'm on Game Changer, World fucking podcast, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? We're up in the motherfucking house. Nothing but family love up in this bitch.
Whoop, whoop, indeed. East Coast Frankie Adams just came in here also. Yeah, crew's building up, guys. Couple hundred in here already. Let's rock and roll. I'm going to give you an intro, Tony. Take her easy for a moment or two. All there. Right. Just hit the cigarette and just relax, brother.
Gotcha.
So here we go. Listeners, we do have a very special guest with us tonight. JCW Hall of Famer, GCW Hall of Famer, Tuff Tony. He's a professional wrestler, trainer, promoter, and one of the stars of the highly acclaimed feature film Big Money Rustlers. Hailing from Louisville, Kentucky. Hailing from Louisville, Kentucky, he's 52 years old with 29 years in-ring experience. He was trained by the Moondogs, Spot and Rex, considered an all-rounder with hardcore expertise. He's wrestled a total of 526 documented matches. We'll get onto that here later in his almost 30-year career, with the most he's wrestled in 1 year at 47 in 2002. He averages around 20 matches a year, and he's on pace to beat this average this year right now with 17 matches and half a year to go. Outside of GCW, other notable companies Tony's made appearances for: Juggalo Championship Wrestling 125 times and Big Japan Pro Wrestling 92 times. He's a 14-time champion, averaging 192 days per major title reign. His most recent title was the JCW American Championship. I'll give you a short list of some of those notable title reigns. He is the six-man WEW Tag Team Championship winner as Baka Gaijin, two-time IWA World Champion, three-time IWA Mid-South Hardcore Champion, five-time Juggalo Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion for a total of 1,140 days. His longest title reign was his third title run with the JCW Championship at 523 days. He's also an IWA Mid-South Double Death Tag Team Tournament winner as Baka Gaijin, and that was also the first time that type of match was ever done in the United States. He was the original motherfucker. Some notable stables and tag teams: the Lynch Mob from 01 to 07 with Cash Flow, Robinson, and Mad Man Pondo. Bad Motherfuckers from 03, IWA Mid-South, Adam Gooch, Michael Todd Stratton, Mitch Ryder, and Bullpain. Baka Gaijin in 2006 until today, the IWA Mid-South and Japan with Mad Man Pondo. JWA and the Hatchet Boys, 2007. Sorry, JWO and the Hatchet Boys, 2007. Juggalo World Order 2008, we had with Violent J, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Sid Vicious, Corporal Robinson, Shaggy Two Dope, Nasawa Rongai, Diamond Dallas Page, Vampiro, and Sean Waltman. Finally, American Nightmare 2011 through Mexico, Mad Man Pondo, and Gigante Warrior. Tony's first match at GCW was on July 18, 2024 at Believe Me in Louisville, Kentucky. Since then, he's wrestled 13 matches with us and just recently challenged for the GCW Ultraviolent Championship only 9 days ago in a drag-out fight that still hasn't seen its true conclusion yet. Tony's left an indelible mark on professional wrestling as a hardcore icon, captivating fans for nearly 3 decades with his fearless in-ring style and infectious charisma. From his early days training with the Moondogs to his championship reigns in IWA Mid-South, JCW, and Big Japan Pro Wrestling, Tony's resilience and passion has made him a beloved figure in the independent circuit. His memorable storylines and matches, mixed with his crazy JWO antics, have cemented his legacy as a trailblazer in hardcore wrestling. Tony continues to inspire the next generation with his dedication, proving that heart, toughness, and a little bit of rot gut can create a timeless impact in the wrestling world. And tonight, that's what makes our guest such a game changer. listeners and fans, fan favorite GCW Hall of Famer, JCW Hall of Famer, Mr. Tuff Tony. How you doing tonight, brother?
Oh man, I'm great. What a fucking great intro, man.
Yeah, man.
That was super fucking dope, and I appreciate that, man. That had me smiling. And you know, you was talking about JWO, man. Scott Hall, God rest his soul.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, fuck that was some good times in my life, man. You know, I got to go watch The Wrestler with Scott Hall, and I'm watching The Wrestler, and I'm looking over at him, and I'm watching the movie, and I look over at him because that was him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, fuck. Man, what a great intro, bro. There ain't nothing. You just put me over like a fucking $1 million stud.
And it was $20 well spent, right?
Yeah.
I've had a couple people tell me, they go, listen, man, when I'm having a bad day, I'll just throw that on and just let it, you know, people need to know what the hell you did. The independent scene doesn't always have cameras there.
Yeah, you know, and back when I was wrestling, there was no cameras. You know, you got lucky to get tapes, and you know, it's before the fucking internet. You know, and once the internet hit, everything blew up, man. You know.
Yeah.
So you know, and we're still outlaws, you know, because we was getting banned in Kentucky for doing deathmatch wrestling. You know, and you know, shit like that. It's like you know. We was the bad news bears of wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, that's a hell of a way to put it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bad motherfuckers can take a punch, barely gets any respect outside of their own little group. But when you step into the baseball diamond in their world, you better be ready.
Right, exactly. And that was me growing up. You know, oh, they was like, oh, you work for IWA. Y'all do all the crazy stuff, all the hard. I'm not working him. You know what I'm saying? That's what they would say a lot of times. And I'll be like, look, man, we're working. I want to get in here and work with you.
Yeah.
You know, the first time me, Cash Flow, with Mad Man Pondo went to OVW. You know, nobody would work us because they thought we was out there really trying to fucking hurt them. You know, and we just had a bad rep, you know, for doing all the hardcore stuff. But I didn't give a fuck. I come into work, man.
Dude. I wanted to find something here. I was trying to find it. Someone was asking about Grindhouse Pro, which is the one thing I did not mention. I'm so sorry. He says, let's also bring up Tuff Tony is the owner of Grindhouse Pro. How's that doing for you, bud? Man,
Grindhouse Pro Wrestling Academy, Grindhouse Pro Wrestling, it for the last 10 years, man. I tell you what I did. I wanted to make sure we could stay where we was at over in Jeffersonville, so I bought into the building, you know. So we never had to worry about leaving because I owned the fucking building. And man, it is doing super good, man. I got some super great trainees. We trained Billy Starks. We trained Hollywood Haley J. You know, we got new kids coming out. We just, you know, it's the step. It's a place for people to learn their craft, you know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is, you know, I run a family fun oriented show, and I don't allow no blood, and I don't allow no cussing in my building. It's crazy, man. I just, you know, as a father, you know, I got kids. I got 11-year-old AJ. You know, I wouldn't want to get in the ring after we've been bleeding in there, you know, and I have birthday parties and stuff like that. So it ain't nothing against the hardcore. It's just, you know, as parents, they ain't gonna let their kids go roll around in the ring with a bunch of blood, glass, and all that in there. So I decided to stick to my guns, and that's what I've been doing, you know.
And you're producing. So, I mean, what are you going to do then? You got Billy out there on TV, so something's working, brother.
Oh, yeah. No, of course, 100%. You know, when we trained Billy, she was 14. And she knew exactly what she wanted to do, you know. And I said, look, that's fine and all, but I want you to stay in school and make good grades. And she made the dean's list, and she made straight A's, you know. And she said, I'm going to be on TV one day. This is what I want to do when I grow up. And she went out and fucking did it. You know, I'm so fucking proud of that kid. You know.
Dude, yeah, and Haley still rocking it out there too.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a lot of up-and-comers.
Hey, she just did slap fights the other night, man, and won.
Oh, no shit. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Wait, maybe I did. Maybe I did. She slapped the fuck out of someone. They passed out, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, the girl acted like she was okay, and all of a sudden she just dropped, you know. And, but fucking, it was awesome, man. You know, it was fucking awesome.
Dude,
You
I
know,
saw the one with Juicy too.
yeah,
Juicy
yeah,
Finale was up there.
yeah. And so was Mega Wolf
I didn't see that.
and Alice Crowley.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, can she deliver? I mean,
Yeah,
she can give and deliver. She can give and take.
On our last tour, Haley J and Big Al was out there practicing every night. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
okay.
I would go out there and hold that fucking little slap thing, and those bitches could smack the shit out of it. You know, because you can hear it. Like when they make a good fucking smack, that bitch like,
Yeah.
pow.
Yeah.
You know, they were smacking the shit out of it. You know, they was doing a great job, and I was proud of them just training. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to get used to it and just try to do it. You know.
It's like hearing a home run. You know when you hear it, it's just
Yeah,
crack.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, exactly. You know.
All right. So going back to the beginning here, I'll get started with you. You and I are close to similar in age. Both of us 25 years old. Spry.
That's right. That's right.
So I need your timeline, buddy. What wrestling companies did you grow up on, and who are you watching? Easy question.
USWA. You know. WCW. You know, I was a big WCW fan. But USWA was the main one that we would watch. You know, it was Saturday mornings, and I would get up, watch cartoons, and wait for wrestling to come on at noon. And that was my Saturdays. You know, cartoons, wrestling, and then Saturday night WCW would come on.
So my favorite thing, this is my earliest memory that I can remember. I was always told to get a nap on Saturdays. I used to hate that shit, but there was a good reason. I'd get a nap. I was a 605 guy. I 605 boys, like 5, 6, 7 years old. I'd watch that. We'd take a little break, and then here'd come, I think it was NWA. And then we would start getting, we got Benny Hill from 11 to 11:30.
Yeah, yeah.
And 11:30 to 12 or 12:30, I think, was Glow.
Okay.
And then I swear there was some AWA like in the very beginning, but it was like dying days AWA. They'd already been picked clean.
Listen, you was talking about the trainers. You know, after the Moondogs, you know, was Bull Payne.
Yeah.
And he was in AWA, you know. And you know, he took me right under his wing, man. Nobody was working because he was mean and nasty. My dumb ass every time be okay, I'll work him. I just wanted to get in the ring. I knew I was getting my ass kicked. And I knew when I'd fuck up because he'd say, okay, kid, time to go to school. And usually that meant I got to beat your ass, you know.
Mm-hmm.
and he would, you know.
So then who were you really watching when you were coming up? Who was your guy?
Well, Bruiser Brody, you know. Fucking a lot of Japanese guys, you know. Mr. Pogo, which I got to work Mr. Pogo, you know. You know, that sickle was mean, man. I'd watch like the Fabulous Ones.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett back in the day, you know, when he was coming up. I got to see PG-13, Jamie and Wolfie D. Let's see, Dutch Mantell, you know, that was all fucking the USWA, you know, a lot of them guys, you know. We would have wrestling here Tuesday nights, and I didn't have no money, so we would sneak in. If we had a little bit of money, everybody would pitch in and buy one ticket, and we'd sneak in on the side door. So the guy would buy his ticket and go to the side door, open the door for us, and we'd sneak in, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
so when did you start watching independent and local wrestling then?
Well, local wrestling, like the USWA and all that was fuck. I had to be 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there, you know, 12. Well, maybe a little bit earlier because I would watch cartoons, maybe 11, you know, 10, 11, somewhere in there.
So then was there anyone on the indies that really you connected with before you started working?
Yeah, Road Dogg Jesse James. It was a good friend of mine. And, you know, I knew him from USWA too, but he didn't know I was training for wrestling. And I was on the same car with him one day. He's like, what the hell are you doing here? I was like, I got a match tonight. He's like, what? You know, I never asked for no favors or anything like that. So I never, you know, asked him, say, hey, can you hook me up or whatever? Because I was in that mindset, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it myself, you know.
Yeah.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You know, a lot of people wanted to go WWE, I wanted to go to Japan. You know what I'm saying? So that was my WWE, being able to go to Japan.
You went back and forth quite a few years too. We'll
years,
definitely get into that.
10 years, I filled up a whole passport and some on another one. You know, so
that's badass. I don't think everybody thinks that that's a goal when you're 12, 13 years old, and then you start to open it up going, shit, I need another one. That's that's impressive, brother.
Oh yeah. You know, thanks to the CCW pulling out, you know what I'm saying? I got my shot, you know.
Well, then we'll go into Moondogs. You were talking for a second. Larry Booker, Moondog Spot, said he saw something in you and said you were a natural for the business. So much so that he trained you for free. A lot of planning goes into
he didn't have he didn't have no choice because I didn't have no fucking money. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have no choice. I was going to take my ass whooping one way or another, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, the two guys I came down there with, they was paying him pretty good. So the Kentucky Sluggers.
So he was trying to do a 2-for-1, 2-for-3 special there.
Yeah. Buy two, get one free.
That's it. A lot of planning goes into character development in your earlier years. You know that, obviously. And you're usually trying to find out what works best for you. Did he ever expand on what he saw in you that he made him so enthusiastic that said, hey, man, we got to get you in here. You got a flavor.
Well, I think maybe he just got tired of me sitting over on the side fucking asking questions. You know what I'm saying? And saying, what's this? Or, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, you know. I maybe he just felt bad for me sitting over by myself. I don't know. But you know, I was blessed enough, and that was my shot. You know what I'm saying? I took the ball and ran with it. You know.
So then, fast forward, training school's over. You're still in your earlier years. Who took you under their wing the most?
Bull Payne.
Okay, that's where we were getting to.
You know, like I said, I work for. I don't know if you remember J.C. Bailey.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so J.C. Bailey, his dad was Joe Bailey, and he ran BBW, Bad to the Bone Wrestling. And I would work with Joe a lot. You know, I worked at some little company in the armpit of Indiana, Huron, Indiana, and I would go down there and work a lot. And then Joe was like, boy, just come on over here. You know, I run BBW and come on. You know, and that JC was young then, you know, not even old enough to wrestle or whatever. But so I started working for Joe Bailey. And that's when I started working Bull Payne a lot. Because like I said, nobody wanted to work Bull Payne. And my dumb ass, it was like, hey, I'll work him. Like I said, I just wanted to get in the ring and work. I knew I wasn't going to win, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, Bull would take me and fucking, he'd take a liking to me after I would fucking be like, all right, me, when nobody else would raise their fucking hand. They were scared of me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but those are building blocks, though. People remember those years down the road, but that's one tough motherfucker. He was the only one willing to get out and into the ring and say, look, I'll take him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you know, we're friends till today. You know, Bull lives in Tampa. I always reach out to him. He don't work no more. But he's a bouncer at a strip club down there, and super nice and still humble. And last time I seen him, he made me take a watch from him. You know, and I still got the watch up on my dresser, and it just sits there, and it just reminds me of Bull. You know, I don't know if he was trying to pay me off for all the ass whoopings I got. You know, but I don't know. I still got a Bull Payne watch. You know.
Well, I mean, people don't just give those out. I'm sure that's a thank you. You know, that's a show of respect. You take it where you can get it, brother.
Yeah.
So what's the most unexpected piece of advice you got from a veteran wrestler and you didn't take it very seriously? That down the road you went, oh shit, maybe that was a good one.
And it cost you.
Yeah. What got you?
Well, I worked Rip Rogers one time, okay? And when he touched it, he said, don't touch me no more than this. And I don't know if you can see, he's like, don't touch me no more than this, and never touch me. Right? I was like, what the fuck? What am I going to do if I can't touch him? You know what I'm saying? So he wraps himself up in the ropes. I said, well, shit. Here, I'm going to chop shit out of him, right? Yeah. Worst thing I can do, you know. pretty much he was trying to tell me get in and work. You know, don't be real stiff or nothing. And he beat my ass because I chopped him or whatever. But more of the story was get in and work, take care of your opponent. And I think he was just testing me at that time, you know. I really didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was still greener than fucking snot, you know. And like I said, Joe put me in there with him, and that was a fucked up situation, you know, because he was mad. But you know, I would love to go working today, you know, to show him how much better I got from where I was to today, you know.
Well, okay, so let's look at it this way. You're sitting at the school, young Tuff Tony Jr. walks in. You see yourself in this young kid. What'd be one of the first piece of advice that you'd like to give him to keep his head on the straight and narrow?
Well, I first of all, I'd say stay humble, you know, because I tell all these kids, always stay humble because you don't know who's going to be your boss the next day. You can ride this fucking thing, go up this fucking ladder, but if you're an asshole as you go up this ladder, you got to come back down the other side on this ladder. And you know, that person you might have been an asshole to going up, thinking you're the shit, might be your boss when you come down. So you ain't gonna get no fucking work, you know. And it's stay humble, you know. I tell these kids being at the right place at the right time to get the right opportunity, you know. And you know, you're not gonna hit it out of the park every time. You know, you're gonna get singles, you're gonna get doubles, you're gonna get struck out. So pretty much stay humble, you know, learn. You know, back when I was training, we had to set the ring up and we might get 10 minutes. We might get a half an hour. But, you know, now I got a ring that's set up 24/7, 365. They come in anytime they want to come in and get reps. And I tell them all the time, go work out, go get your reps, practice your craft, you know. You want to do something, that's what you got to be. You got to be on top of your game because there's so many motherfuckers out here doing it, you know, that you got to stand out more than this guy does.
So then I'm going to ask you, just for the newer fans also, do you have a match or two that you're most proud of you'd like to maybe tell everybody go check out sometime? You got a hell of a library, brother.
I know it. That's what I'm saying. Fuck.
Yeah. I'm thinking,
you know, like I got to work Barbarian and Warlord, bro. I was scared to fucking death. Yes. At the fucking gathering.
I heard he's brick too. It's like a brick because just the muscle on him is so dense.
Yeah, but they were so fucking, man, so fucking gentle, and they're like gentle giants, but fuck, I was scared to death, you know, because I used to watch them guys back when I was younger and it beat the shit out of motherfuckers. But me and Sabu, God rest his soul, man. You know, me and Sabu became really good friends too, man. And me and Sabu's had some bangers. You know,
I was going to ask you about that too. Yeah, I've seen you guys cross paths quite a few times.
Yeah. The first time was IWA. Me and fucking Sabu broke in the ring, and he was mad as a motherfucker. You know, he was like, "Ah, the fuck," you know, whatever, whatever, you know. But we fucked his ring up, and you know, still have more matches to do. But yeah, fuck, I've had so many matches I forgot a lot of them until something fucking pops up. You know, I like every one of my matches. I don't watch. Fun fact: I don't watch none of my matches because I hate every one of them. It can be good. I just don't watch my matches because I'll pick it apart. You know, so I just don't watch them. I learned that a long time ago.
You're not the only one. I've heard quite a few guys. They said, "Listen, I can't go 15 seconds without finding a mistake. I get tired of watching."
Yep. You know, somebody might like it, I might hate it, but I hate every one of them. You know, because I'm like, man, I should have did this here instead of doing it here. You know, like I said, dissect it, pick it apart. You know.
Yeah. Is there a venue that's near and dear to your heart at all, and why?
Probably in Mexico. I want to say Arena, Mexico. You know, it was just nice, and I got a warm welcome. You know, I'm trying to think what other arenas, man. You know,
2300.
Listen, I got to work Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn, bro. You know, and that was fucking dope. That was fucking dope. You know, let's get back to GCW, man. When Brett, you know, asked me to come do that show down in Louisville,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But that started something. You know what I'm saying? That started something that put a fucking drive in me to get back out and fucking ride that bike again, because I was dormant for a while.
Yeah.
But Brett was smart. He knew who was going to pull the crowd in. They knew that, you know, we're in my hometown, you know, and we was going to have motherfuckers show up, you know. But we went in there, me and Manders worked Reed and John Wayne, and fucking tore that bitch down, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and then that just put a fire under my ass. I was like, man, I can still fucking go, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And Brett was like, man, you be available for some more? I guess, well, I guess I will, man. Yeah. You know, and it just, from there, Joe and them caught wind of it, and he was kicking JCW back up right before that. And it just, I started fishing, man. My bobber started going under. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So then I was gonna say, how did your name get across Brett's ears? You know how that happened at all?
Well, I mean, come on, he's a diehard deathmatch fan too, you know, and he always pays homage to the older guys who paved the way for these other guys, you know, and he knows what's out there. He's a fucking promoter, you know. He knows what's going on, and like I said, when he asked me to be in that Hall of Fame, and I didn't know who else was going to be in it, and then he was like Mean and Hard. I was like, holy shit, you know, Rolling Hard and Mean Mitch Page. I was like, fuck. Then we got Jeff Cannonball, you know. You know, it's he knows what he's doing, man.
Yeah.
Brett knows what the fuck he's doing. You know, a smart guy. You know.
Did he ever ref one of your matches?
Who, Brett?
Yeah, I'm thinking at some point he had to have come across you somewhere or another.
Who knows? You know,
Yeah.
I've never asked him that, and you know, but
tell him you never forgot that 2 count.
Yeah. It was like,
so,
1, 2,
Tell him it was this fucking close and you never forgot. So you're traveling on the road. What's your favorite music, or what you listening to?
You know, I'm old school, so I'm still listening to UGK. I'm listening to
wow, UGK.
Houdini. You know, I'm like,
okay,
a little bit of everything. No Taylor Swift though, you know, and
trying to quit. I heard you're trying to quit. It's good.
Yeah, it's old school rap, you know, old school rap for me.
Okay, here's a weird one for you, but I think this will be fun, especially with your career and your early career. What was the craziest thing you've had a fan do to get your attention?
Well, of course, flash you or fucking pull their pants down, show you their butthole, you know, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, just crazy shit, you know.
I was gonna, because you're used to the gatherings. That's what.
Yeah. You know, I don't. You know, in Japan they used to give you like they knew I collected wrestlers, so they would always give me wrestlers. You know, they would, you know, just authentic wrestlers and the stuff that I wouldn't be able to get here in the States, and I would bring that shit home. So, but yeah, the wildest probably tits. You know, one girl had a mask on with no shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, the life. The life of a wrestler. Okay. So I'll move in here. I kind of got a timeline on this one. Mad Man Pondo. I want to talk about him. Your first match with him was on January 30th, 1999. It was a 3-way hardcore match for the MRW heavyweight title. It was Shake, Rattle, and Roll, National Guard Armory, Cape Girardeau, Missouri. That year, you met him in the ring 13 times, and of those 13, 11 were singles. 3 times were for championships at 3 different companies: MRW, IWA Midsouth, NSWA. Was he training you during this time, or was this more like
Pondo?
Yeah, was this like steel sharpening steel or?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like me and him would travel the world and work each other, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, we was married. You know, a lot of people, you know, when we were in Japan, we was bakugajin. Over here before we would, you know, together over in Japan because he was already going for CZW, and you know that's how I got in Japan was Pondo. You know, and you know, he was like my wife on the road because we was together so much. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we would work everywhere. You know, we'd travel and work each other. You know, that's what we used to do. He would know me like the back of his hand. I know him like the back of my hand. And a fun fact was a lot of times I didn't have to blade because I would use his blood, and I had a better color than he would.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's
Wow.
true story.
No, okay, so it's obvious you guys clicked well together. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're lucky to find a good friend out there that you can stick with, fortunate is what I've heard.
Oh yeah.
So you were talking about you and Pondo. I want to kind of go back to something from a while back here. You and Pondo had a great time together in ring and out of the ring. You both even got booked on Jerry Springer together.
Yeah.
For the first 2 years, you both were especially close. He said he stayed at your place. You called him your brother. You'd give him the shirt off your back. But there was some drama, according to the Jerry show. You had a girlfriend named Jamie for about a year, and Pondo was banging her for about 7 months before he decided to tell you. She seemed okay with it. And her reasoning for all this was you were spending too much time in the bathroom trying to be a pretty boy, always checking your hair in the mirror. After all that news spilled out, we found out Jamie was fucking Mitch Page for 3 months. Yeah. And you said she was like a rider truck. She never stops moving. So I'm wondering, I know we're just having fun here. You still talk to Jamie?
I ain't seen her since the Springer show. Yeah. Mitch got her.
She let herself out the door.
Yeah.
All right. Fast forward to January 3rd, 2001. First time you both teamed together. It was IWA Midsouth New Year's Knockout versus Chris Hero and Todd Morton. You still didn't have an official name yet, but later that year you formed the Lynch Mob.
Yeah.
Then you were both part of Bad Motherfuckers in IWA Midsouth. So let's talk about Midsouth for a bit. A lot of history happened at Midsouth with or without you there. How did you start working over there?
Well, I left BBW. I came over, I worked this guy, Ox Harley, and Ox Harley didn't give me shit. He just ate me up. And Pondo was like, man, I know Tony, you know, Ian let me work him, you know. So the following week, I got to work Pondo, and Pondo let me do my shit. You know, I burnt the BBW shirt right in the middle of the fucking ring at IWA. You know, Joe Bailey got so fucking mad. JC's dad got so fucking mad. But anyway, but Pondo's the one that fucking took care of me. He let me come in and do my shit and got me a job, you know.
So then, were there any other wrestlers that you kind of attached to over at Mid-South and kind of made friends with over time?
Yeah, Corporal Robinson, you know, yeah. Corporal Robinson was there. Rolling Hard, you know, me and him clicked really good. Me Mitch Page. You know, we had a little crew. Cash Flow. Our deal was there was 5 of us that hung out really good, and if one of us got booked, we all got booked. You know, we'd watch out for each other.
Yeah.
So, and we did that for a long time. We all 5 of us would travel together.
Was there ever a fight for the passenger seat or for the driver just to get more room?
No, I'm sure there was, but I'd sleep in the very back on top of everybody's luggage. We had like a floor. Yeah. You
know. Also 2001, you and Corporal Robinson signed with ECW. They go bankrupt the same fucking day. What happened there? And I'm thinking that made for a weird celebration. You're like, well, hey, you know what? We made it. Yeah. And then
I mean, we really didn't sign, but we was there to fucking get the job, you know, and come find out they closed up shop, you know, and that's probably corpse workings. I mean, you know, we was there, you know, and it was time for them to fold, you know. So I'm trying to remember back when WCW and Vampiro was on top, you know, I had a WCW tryout. I broke my leg, tibia and fibia, the night before, fighting outside the
Jeez.
tour bus. But you know, at that time I was doing some crazy shit, and you know, and Van Puro was on top, which was my boy, and I'm sure I would have got some of Ted Turner's money. You know, at least I want to think that. You know what I'm saying? I want to think
Could have
because
been rich.
I was in pretty good shape. You know, and I broke my tibia fibia going on the Monday Night Wars, and fucking I didn't get the tryout. You know, fuck, my first trip was Japan up because Abdullah had me booked. Abdullah the Butcher, and I fucked a lot of shit up, you know, breaking my tibia and fibia. So I had to wait like 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, somewhere in there. And got back out on the scene, and then it all came back to me. So I got lucky that way, you know.
Wow. Yeah, because you do have a decent amount of injuries, but for 30 years, I mean, I still feel like you're lucky to a degree. You're walking normally,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, family. I
But you
mean,
know,
you're doing good.
they talk about bump cards, you know, bump cards or
Yeah.
whatever. And I just never even look at a bump card. I've never had one. So, you know, I I look at it like this. Like when I go into that ring, I'm going in to go to work, like I told you earlier. I want to be safe. I want to take care of them, and I want to be able to get out of there and be able to go home. You know,
Yeah.
and I've been
Right.
lucky enough, you know, to be able to do that.
Well, then I'm going to go into IWA Mid-South 2006 double deathmatch tag team tournament. First one ever held in the United States. Was it true you weren't told you were going to win the whole thing?
That was true. That was true.
Hmm.
We didn't know we was going to win it all, and that was the way Ian would play his games. You know, he wouldn't let nobody know nothing, and they would call it, you know, when we was out there. You know.
I just want to say this real quick. 50187 photography just said, great interview. Tony's a humble legend. I just wanted to also say thank you to 50187 photography, because every single picture that I was able to get of Tony was taken from their photography reels. So I just want to say thank you so much, because
Out here fucking killing it, you know.
yes. Yeah, and let's see here. This is gonna. I have a question that's coming up from a fan here in just a minute. But
Right.
what are some of the things that you liked about Mid-South and you weren't very fond of, that you wish you could have maybe, you know, changed a little bit?
Well, I like that we would stay busy every fucking weekend. We was working, you know. It was us and CZW, the two East Coast and Midwest, you know. Doing the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get death match over. One more time with the question. I'm sorry, I got lost for a second.
No, brother. Mid-South, some things you like and some things you'd like to maybe change.
Yeah. Well, the thing I would change is Ian would start paying these guys. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, Ian was the only one making the fucking money. You know, we go out there and fucking put our shit on the line, and you know. I did take a bounce check from him one time. He bounced a check to me, and then I didn't fuck with him for a while, but he made it right. You know, he had a good thing going, but he fucked it all away. You know, he would fuck the guys he would go in business with. You know, and I'm not talking bad about Ian, because I you know, he's fucked a lot of people. You know.
Yeah.
And then I did business with him when I first opened up the arena over there in Jeffersonville, Grindhouse, and but he would pay me every show, you know, and that was his last little hope for IWA. But it would never be the same back when we was doing IWA, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if Ian would have just stayed on the right track and not fucked around, it'd probably been a lot bigger than what it was.
James Noter asks right here. He said, just for someone who has never seen IWA, James, you're going to love it. What's one show you would like to go, maybe have people go back and watch? Is there one like a TOD or something you can think of?
King of the Death matches. Any King of the Death matches. You can go back and pick any of the King of the Death matches. You know, yeah, you know, that was really big, you know, for IWA was King of the Death matches.
And then
they let's see, the double death match tournament was dope. Let's see, a lot of things that we did at IWA Mid-South, Japan was doing, so we was stealing a lot of shit from Japan and trying to bring it over, and the Taipei death matches and shit like that, But go check out the King of Death matches. I don't care which one it was,
Yep. I'll double that. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Bakagaijin formed June 7, 2006, which is right after your birthday. That means Stupid Foreigners, along with Kentaro Kanemura, you've won the WW 6-man tag team championship together. Yeah. Okay. What's the story behind the name? Who came up with it? How'd it go?
Well, me and Pondo would fuck around with these Japanese girls, and they would always call us Bakagaijin. Oh, Baka, you're Baka.
Yeah.
You're Baka. And she goes, oh, Bakagaijin. Always like, that's it. And me and Pondo would watch Japanese comedy. So when we get in the ring, it was like, hi, and people like, they would pop and shit because it was Japanese comedy, but we was just mocking it. But they was like, y'all stupid, And then we could never fucking do nothing wrong because they was like, oh, Bakagaijin, Stupid Foreigners,
Well, you and Pondo knew each other a lot. October 14th, 2006, Bakagaijin's third ever match together was the 100th time you both had been in a ring together.
Wow.
Yeah. So the third time you ever did it together was the 100th you two stepped in, either in singles, however.
Right. Wow.
Okay. So you, talking about Japan, how much adjustment was needed to adapt to the Japanese strong style?
There was none because we was doing strong style. I mean, I was hitting motherfuckers for real. You know what I'm saying? And they wasn't crying over there. They would take their ass whooping. I'd take my ass whooping. They already knew what I like to do before I even got there, so they would have the matches already in their head. And we would have like Sakimoto, Daisuke Sakimoto. He knew a little bit of English. He would speak broken English. And, if we had problems with anything, we talk it out through Sakimoto. But, I was at home, you know what I'm saying? I was used to getting punched and all that shit.
Yeah.
If you want to call it strong style, I used to do strong style every day, fighting out here in the streets, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And,
So do you think Japan saw the Americans come over and said, okay, they fit right in? Or did you feel like they were a little, because you might be taking jobs kind of thing? You know what I mean? I know it's tight over there.
Of course. I always felt like that, like our gimmick tables, they wouldn't buy shit, but we was over like Clover. We come to Corrigan Hall and the whole fucking place just erupts and chanting Bakagaijin, and they're chanting Bakagaijin on TV, you know what I'm saying? And that was something that, you know what I'm saying, that people were like, holy shit, and I think they dropped the ball with our merchandise deal, so that's where Say's the one who makes everybody's shirts nowadays. Okay, Say made our shirts first. We got him into the game.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say, he made all mine and Pondo shirts. That's how he got into the wrestling game.
Ooh, 2006?
We brought him in.
Oh,
maybe before then, because we started going in Japan, maybe like 2002, 2003, somewhere in there.
Okay. Okay. He said, hell yeah, Ozawa. Frankie. All right. So we were talking about this off the air, but I wanted to talk to you about this just a second on the air because I think it's fascinating. When it comes to getting around in Japan, do you speak any Japanese or do you have your own way of getting around?
Well, yeah, I would make shit up. Like I had to piss really bad one time. I was like, toilet, bathroom. And they was like, oh. So I just act like I would get ready to piss on the floor. They go, "Oh, toilet." They point me to the right direction. So you just had to beat around the bush a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, I would have cards and stuff. Like I told you, how to get back to the dojo if I ever got stuck out somewhere. Because, like I said, I worked Kai-Tai dojo. I worked a lot of independents in Japan, and with BJW. If BJW wasn't running, there have been times that they might only work 2 nights that week. Nozawa or Kiktaro would say, "Hey, come here," and they would give Sakimoto the address. He'd give me the address, and he'd point me. Like a lot of times, Sakimoto, maybe one of the Japanese guys would book too, and I would just travel with them. But there's been a few times I had to go by myself.
Yeah.
But they took very good care of us over there, man.
So then, where'd you like eating at over there?
Bakery Donkey. And that was like a spaghetti place, and they had big ass beers. They had Bakery Donkey, and I would like the Korean barbecue places, where you cook your own shit right there at the table. And then, of course, McDonald's, because what you like in Japan, what you seen on that picture is how you got your shit. Somebody was just like, okay, here, I'm gonna give you a cheeseburger. Right. No, they run over, get your shit, run it back, set it down, run over and make your Coke, run back over and set it down, and everything was just, they was happy to have their job. They was happy, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't miserable.
Wow. Tony, we have people in this group that know their shit. He said, okay, I found footage. Bryce and the guy who became the H2O main ref were the refs for that show. Tuff and Pondo were svelte back then. So there's a chance there we might have seen Brett. Somebody said that there was a chance where it was you and Pondo versus the Hate Club. And
yes, you're right.
Yeah. So yeah. Brett was Nick's referee.
Nick Boyd. Yeah. Hey, listen, man. Fucking, I've known Nick for a long fucking time, bro. I tweeted. I don't even fucking tweet. I lied. On Facebook, I put out a picture of Nick wearing my fucking shirt, and I said, "Support your people, man."
Yes.
That's the shit to me, man. He don't have to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm like I said, I've known Nicky a long time, and we did work a fucking hate club. Back in Jersey. Yeah. At the fucking arena.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's what I'm saying, man. I did so much shit and I forget.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude, and then when you brought that up, it came right fucking back.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to tell you, usually I prepare 2 hours, 3 hours for an interview. I had enough to go almost 4.5 hours on you. No shit. I had to cut. Well, dude, we're only on 2006. Like I had to cut from there. So now we're in Japan. So that I kind of, otherwise, brother, I could talk to you for a while. Outside of restaurants, outside of all that shit, who was feeding you? Or, I mean, somebody with a rice maker, access to maybe some.
Oh yeah, the dojo. Well, the dojo would always have rice there, and they like I would cook a lot. I'd do American style cheeseburgers. I would do American style spaghetti. They loved when I cook. I'd cook for all the guys. That was the thing too. Is I think I earned a respect from the guys at the dojo because they was put me up in a hotel, but I'd wake up and I fucking didn't have nobody to talk to or whatever. And then Pondo had his girlfriend, so I wouldn't fuck with them. And so. I was like, look, I'll stay at the fucking dojo, and I loved it there. Like I said, I can, Jackie Namzawa, fucking Sakimoto, a lot of them spoke broken English, so I could at least hold a conversation a little bit. They would take me wherever I wanted to go. They would invite me to go places. There'd be food there. I would cook food, so it wasn't bad. I'd get up and train in the mornings, So,
did you fall in love with any type of food out there when you were there?
I ate a bunch of ramen noodles. I would send my stuff over a care package, and I would always eat ramen noodles. Another fun fact. So, fucking, I would send a care package over there, and I would send a bunch of candy and stuff because I'd give it out, you know. So one time we was on the ferry boat going up to Sapporo, and they thought it was funny. They would give us fish eyes, right?
Yeah.
So you know, in their culture, it's bad to not take something, you know, and when they offer it to you. I was like, all right, motherfuckers. I ate this fucking fish out and I bit into it and it popped in my mouth. I was like, oh, motherfucker. You know, and so the next trip over, we had a flight stewardess. It was a guy, he used to take good care of us. He'd give us care packets. And I said, hey, man, I said, you got any of them Alka-Seltzers? He's like, yeah. I said, throw me a bunch of them motherfuckers in my care packets, right? So we get back over. I start handing me fucking Alka-Seltzers. I was like, here, American candy, you know. And, funny thing is, Takasa, not Takasa, Tosaka, which was running BJW. I gave him one too. And he's on his phone and he's talking. And he put the, arigato, thank you, you know. And so everybody starts popping it in their mouth. And I'm dying, okay? Because I know it's fucking fizzing and all that shit in their mouth. And Tosaka's on the phone. And all of a sudden you see him go, and it just starts coming out of his mouth, and I'm fucking dying. And Sakimoto goes, oh, American candy, shit. You know, and I was like, no candy. I said, medicine. He said, what? And I was like, yeah, medicine. He goes, oh, no. And I was like, yeah, no candy. You know what I'm saying? So I just started handing them alcohol because they gave me fucking fish eyes, you know. So they didn't give me fish eyes no more after that, you know.
Hey, you know what? On the spot though, you had to eat it. I mean, what else you gonna do, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was some nasty shit, bro. Bro.
I grew up on a farm, so like a sheep eye, we've accidentally stepped on one and they pop.
Yeah, they pop.
Yeah,
it popped in my fucking mouth, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, man.
Yeah, and then there's the taste from the gel that's in there.
And here's what's fucked up. I was sitting out Kit Kats, Reese Cups, you know, fucking Snickers. I'm giving out all good shit, and they thought it'd be funny to give me a fucking fish eye. Fuck y'all, I ain't giving y'all no more fucking good candy from America. You know?
X-Lax for them from here on out.
Yeah, fuck yeah. No, they was like, oh, Bakagajin, you know.
Exactly. So then, you know, I don't know if it's bars or what, but what were you doing with your off time outside the dojo, outside your house? Was there anywhere you like to frequent, or would you kind of stay close to home? Like,
yeah, I would stay close to home, or I would go gamble a little bit. We'd play pachinko, you know. We would go like to Disney World sometimes, you know, on our off days, and just go hang out, really, you know, go check out shit. Yeah, go to Bakery Donkey.
What were a few things that you experienced in Japan that you wish you could bring back to America?
The fans, you know,
really,
the fans are a little bit different over there because it wasn't about the move, it was the kick out. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever noticed that? They don't pop on big moves. They pop for the kick out. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, you know. And Japanese fans still believe more than what America does. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they treat it like a sport over there. You know, it's not, you know, you're in the fucking paper with the basketball players, the baseball players, the football players. You're in the sports section of the fucking newspaper. You know, they got wrestling. You know, so you're a big athlete. You're a big star over there when you're a wrestler or a football player. They don't look at it no different. You know.
Also, I've go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I go ahead. I'm just.
I was no. You're great. I was just gonna say that I've noticed that. So my style, how I talk to you now, wouldn't be as acceptable over there because we're peeling back just a little. If you know, you say, "Hey, if I say, "Hey, he reached back. He has a nice strong punch over there," they might say, "Well, he is an athlete with an exceptionally strong punch." They kind of they give it a little more pomp and you know, and
it's still real sacred over there. You know. Yeah. I'm sure it's starting to start busting open a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because internet's gonna fuck it up, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still sacred over there, and it's still a good sport over there. You know, I'm sure it's declined a little bit. I don't know. I ain't kept up with it. You know, I miss birthdays. I miss Christmases. You know, my daughter, I always apologize to her. You know what I'm saying? She's 26 now. My son's 11, and he, you know, she got the worst end of it because I didn't travel while I got him. You know, a lot of times I take him with me. You know,
Yeah.
and she
That's
didn't
cool.
have that luxury. You know, and you know, but she understood what I was doing. You know, so you know, it makes it better. You know, but she, you know, she's a good kid, and she still got dollar bills. Where I did a Lucky 13 match, and she was probably 7 years old. Still got them in her box, you know, just bloody dollars.
It sounds like you've put a good time into making sure she has a good understanding now of what
Yeah,
happened back then. And no shit, I got a 20-year-old
yeah,
explaining sometimes back then why things had to be, you know, then, and
yeah,
explaining it now. I mean, as long as you do it clear-headed, mostly the kids pretty much understand if they, you know, if they have a little bit of maturity to them. And
yeah.
sounds like you're
Well,
blessed in that aspect.
just don't lie to them, you know what I'm saying, and tell
Yeah.
them the truth. And I know sometimes we got to do white lies to them,
Yeah.
but you know, I was always honest with them, you know. So, you know, I didn't hold nothing back.
Okay, so I'm guessing after a couple trips to Japan, your care packages got a little better, a little smarter.
Yeah.
Um, but I do want to ask this: when you're in Japan, outside of family, what are some of the other things from America that you missed while you were there?
I don't know, man. Listen, and I ain't gonna lie to you. If I didn't have a kid when I was going to Japan, I would have moved there. You know what I'm saying? Because it is so fucking nice over there.
That's what I
Nobody
hear.
fucks with you. Oh, first time I went to Japan, we got off in Narita Airport. They pick us up in this fucking van. They take us to Toyoko Inn. We go into Toyoko Inn, which is a hotel. We go get our room. We go up there. I sleep for about 4 or 5 hours. I wind up getting in touch with Pondo. Called his room and said, "Come on, let's go get something to eat." He's like, "All right," you know. We come down the elevator, come out the front door. I said, "Look, some dumbass that left her bag outside." I get looking at that fucking bag. That was my fucking bag.
Oh shit.
It stayed outside the fucking hotel for 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? Nobody touched that bitch.
Mm.
If that had been America, that bitch had been gone.
Gone. It would have
Yeah,
been
it's
rooted
gone. Long
through.
gone, son. I got looking. I'm like, look, some dumbass done left this fucking bag. Get looking real good. I was like, fuck, that's my bag. You know what I'm saying? I was like, fuck. But that's what I'm saying, man. Just there's not much crime over there. We had the Yakuza go through one time on a motorcycle Yakuza. And me and Pondo, they started hollering shit. But I was a little scared, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But you know, they didn't fuck with us. They just kept on going. But they just hollered some shit and kept going.
Now, did Pondo know enough Japanese to understand what was going on?
Yeah, you know, he knew about as much as I did. He knew a little bit more words than I did. You know,
Okay.
like I said, he'd been over a little bit longer. You know, and then like at GCW, I'll still be fucking with the Japanese people to come in because I knew like Gay Pirate and stuff like that, and I'd be like, oh, he's Okamikazaku, and they'll be like, whoop. You know, I still fuck with that because I learned all bad words in Japan.
Always,
Okay,
you learn the good ones first.
I learned all bad fucking words. I had bad teachers, you know, and Canamira would teach me all kinds of bad shit. He'd say this, you know, and he'd teach me how to say it, you know. It'd be funny to him, but it wouldn't be funny to the person I'd say it to, probably, you know.
Right. Yeah, you're like, "What's up, goat fucker?" And they're like, "Hey, wait a minute now."
Yeah.
All right. So here's a fun one. I got to ask you because it's been a long time now. Your third tour of Japan, you and Pondo got in trouble with the authorities. You were dancing and quote unquote undulating around a small statue of a frog holding a donut. I already know. The Japanese Secret Service took the fucking frog. How serious was the situation? And years later, can you laugh about it? Or
Yeah, you can laugh about it now because we wasn't doing nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And,
you're just having fun,
but
right? You're just
yeah,
joking.
having fun. But you know, to them, we was wrong. You know,
Yeah.
and laugh about it all the time. You know, see, we used to get over on Japan a lot, me and Pondo, because we would go over with no work visas. We'd always say, "Oh, we're coming over visiting our girlfriend,"
Yeah.
you know, and they'd let us right in their country, and then we'd make all our money. I'd put 5,000 in one shoe, 5,000 in another shoe, put some money in my bag, and walk right back through customs. Knock on wood, never got in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah! Wow. Never thought of it that way, but that's you'd be sweating going through there, huh?
Yeah,
Sweating a
well,
little bit.
I didn't think about it because we didn't have no work visa. As long as we wasn't declaring nothing, you know, I'd always buy shit though when I was here, and I was smart. I would send it home.
Yeah.
You know, that way I wouldn't have to worry about carrying it with me. You know,
Or getting lost in transit. You know.
Yeah, true. One time I bought these fucking. They look like real guns. Okay. But they were cigarette lighters. I was gonna give them away like gifts for Christmas and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I had like 20 of them. And I come through and they was like, you can't have these. And I'm like, what do you mean? I bought them from here. I'm just taking them, you know, back to America. No, they got gas or they got lighter fluid in them.
Yeah.
And you know, they it was either leave them there and go back to America or stay there with the fucking shit and send them back. And I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let them go. And I went on home, you know, but.
Well, your switch is already turned off. You're already on the way back home. So anything like that would just fuck you up. Yeah,
just fucking go ahead. You can keep it.
All right, brother. JCW, how did your name come up to the crew? Up to Violent J. How did they find you? Was it from the Dan Curtis Memorial?
Yeah, Dan Curtis Memorial. Me and Pondo did. Yeah, you know, Dan Curtis was the first promoter that ICP worked with, and you know, and then they had this Dan Curtis Memorial, and me and Pondo was the main event, and I did the corkscrew to the table, and we broke out all of our shit, you know, because everybody's wrestling all night long, so we gave them a little different taste of shit. And, you know, and then when they first started their company, they reached out to me and Pondo.
Well, let me tell everyone this real quick. You were on the first video release Juggalo Champion Shit Wrestling ever put out. That's the original, if anybody doesn't know. You were the first match. You were also on the first Stranglemania. That's the second release from the company. 26 years later, I'm guessing it's a very good relationship, right?
Oh yeah, me and Violent J are like brothers, man, from different mothers, and you know, me and him always talk about being, you know, 60 or 70 in our rocking chairs on the front porch. Go, remember the good old days, you know, pitching or something like that, you know. And we're working our way there. You know, we talk about it all the time.
Man, is it just because you're both maybe the same? Do you know what it is that makes you both work so well together? Just natural?
Look, I'm going to tell you something. So when we went to Novi, Michigan for that first fucking JCW, first ever JCW, Joe was like, pulled me to the side. He says, hey, man, just ride on my bus.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit. You know, because the wrestlers had their own bus. Joe had his own bus. Joey had his own bus. And I was like, oh, shit, you know. And I went to Pondo. He's like, go ahead and ride, you know. So, but ever since that day, me and him just clicked. You know, it's like we knew each other, you know, and we just fucking smooth selling, man, you know, and fucking one of my best friends, man, you know.
And because of all this, locked in that second half of your career between the music and everything, just so then interestingly, no one thinks about how much experience is in the JCW locker room. I'll let the fans know. Just on the last show, last Thursday, 5 days ago, there were 18 performers. Only 4 had less than 10 years of experience, and Kerry Morton's already at 9.
Yeah.
So I mean, people don't think about this very much, but Tony, you're at 29. I think off the top of my head, Mickey's at 21. Brothers of Fun Structure are like 20 and respectively 21 or 22. Like, come on. And people don't think of it that way. But I wanted to ask you, does that come with a level of comfort knowing that everyone there is established, knows each other, you know, no fucking around?
Well, it ain't that. Everybody's there to do a job. You know, we're working with professionals. And, you know, and when the time comes that, you know, let's just say I don't win and I got to do a favor for somebody because they might have to do that favor for me and they understand that, you know what I'm saying? And they're all professionals. So it ain't like nobody's counting matches. Nobody's saying that, oh man, I should win because, you know, oh, they like me more or whatever, you know. We're all there to do a job and, you know, everybody understands, you know, and, you know, you was talking about like Willie Mack. I knew Willie Mack before he even started wrestling. You know, he was a juggalo, you know what I'm saying? And how fucking good is Willie Mack?
Fucking awesome.
Fucking good, man.
Yeah.
You know, for a big guy.
Especially
you know
for a big guy. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my theory too, being a big guy. There's a bunch of big guys, but you got to stand out. I stood out. Willie Mack stands out. You know what I'm saying? And he's done fucking very well for it. Because he used to ask me all the time, "Hey, get me on the Juggalo shows." You know, I said I would, but you know, we've already got a full card. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard. And I talked to him the other day, and I was like, "Think about this, Willie. If I would have got you on back then, it would have altered all the shit you got going on now." You know what I'm saying? Because it probably wouldn't have been the same fucking path.
Oh, it would have adjusted his hunger. It would have adjusted his hunger levels. He may not have been as hungry, or he, you know, oh yeah, right time, right place, just like you were saying.
Right.
Over at JCW, who you like working with over there in the ring?
The Southern Six, bro.
Yeah.
Salas, you know, Alex Taylor, and Kerry Morton. I'm married to them guys, man.
Yeah.
And fucking pros, bro. Fucking pros, you know.
Classic Southern.
Yes. You know, that's right up my fucking alley. They love working with me too. So it's like, you know, we've had some bangers, man. Oh, the other person I like working, I worked him for the fucking title. Fucking Caleb Conley. What a fucking dude! What a fucking athlete, bro!
Yeah. Yep. He's gonna make
it. What a
it.
fucking athlete, bro!
I saw him at GCW. I'm like, that kid's got it.
He's money, bro. He's fucking money. And you know, and I don't like telling the kids business, but that's suicide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Incredible,
dude. I was just when I get to work fucking him, it's like, man, we're going out here to do some shit. And he's down for it, you know what I'm saying? And I'll get out there and try anything with him, you know what I'm saying? And well, we worked 3 times, 3 fucking bangers, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I could be married, I could work him every night of the fucking week. Southern Six too, Big Salas.
Yep.
Every fucking night of the week. Alex Taylor every night of the week. Kerry Morton every night. That our whole crew's like that. I don't care who we're working. I can work them every night of the fucking week. They understand, you know what I'm saying? We're going out there, we're working. You know.
I was surprised by the level of just experience.
Yeah. Yep.
I love it too. I've ended up falling in love with a lot of the you know, a lot of the people you've put out there. Really, yeah. I pushed hard to have the Brothers of Funstruction come back to GCW because alone, honestly, size number one, they've got good length on them. Number two, anybody who knows their shit knows when you watch them, they know their shit. Great facial expressions. You know what I mean? Like they have the whole thing down there.
They have it. You know, their characters, they got them down pat. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're doing NWA. That's why they're doing Mexico. Them boys are getting booked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Somebody be stupid not to book them guys. Like you said, they're the total package.
Yeah, just off the top of my head, that's what I can tell you. But I mean, you really study. They know their shit. They work well. One goes left, the other knows to go right. I mean, 20 years of experience will do that to you, man.
And real brothers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Real fucking brothers. Rick used to be Rough Crossings. I knew him before he did the fucking clown gimmick. And I've known him a long fucking time, you know. And he's a good dude. He's a really good dude, you know. So,
Man.
like I said, I get to go to work with these guys who are fucking good. And a lot of them still humble, you know, and they enjoy the craft, you know.
Mm. All right, then. So I'll move to this next one here. November 9, 2012. You, Scott Hall, Violent J, Shaggy 2 Dope, and Corporal Robinson invade TNA.
TNA.
You're front row wearing
Yeah.
JWO jerseys. There's some back and forth between you and Davari. People don't know you're friends.
Listen, Davari, and he was working fucking Rhino, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah. So how much was real and how much, how much
well, they
was
didn't know
work
we
and
was
how
coming
much
out there. Davari and them didn't know, but we took a lot off their match, man. Coming out.
That's the problem. I'm actually surprised
that was
someone
the
didn't come out.
problem. And then it didn't help Scott Hall smacking fucking Vince Russo either, because they was gonna give us a fucking little thing, and but Scott Hall, we made the wrong choice. We drank before we went there. We drank before we got there, and Scott Hall smacked fucking Vince Russo, so we didn't get to come back.
Okay, so hold on a second. He's a smart man. We all know anybody he's a smart man. He was weighing his fucking consequences, and he's like, "I'm gonna rear back and hit this motherfucker. Do I do it or do I?"
He didn't give a fuck.
Nah, good for him though.
Yeah.
I wonder how long he'd been waiting to release that fucking hand.
Who knows? Who knows? That's what I'm saying. He's a gentle giant. You know what I'm saying? He was a gentle giant, and but he goes, "Okay, guys, we're done here at TNA."
So I'm wondering then, what happened after y'all walked out, or what? I mean, what I'm saying is there was so much work and so much self promotion there. There was a mix, it seems. When everybody was kind of walking out the building, did anybody complain to you or?
Yeah, I think we just left and went and got drunk someplace or something. I don't remember, but like we were still friends with Davari. We was friends with Rhino, and what I think Rhino really got mad because we took a lot of tension off their match. You know what I'm saying? They put us out at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking Vince Russo's call. And it kind of fucked us.
I'm still laughing that you said he smacked the shit out of Vince Russo.
And then you immediately the shit out of Vince Russo.
But then you immediately said some bad decisions were made that night.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck, because we was drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, we went in there fucking. We decided to fucking drink before we went in there, and that was probably the wrong fucking mistake.
Yeah. You're just trying to loosen up for the show. No big deal.
Yeah, but.
Oh my god. Okay. Your entrance song that you have right now, very straightforward. Could you give us a story behind how that one got picked for you, or how you picked that? Vice versa?
Joe wrote that. And Boondocks sung it, but it's Joe's song. And we was going to change it, but we decided not to. He let me keep it. It's his song. He wrote it. So very catchy, though. I think that's what gets me over is that song.
Hey, no shit. I'm going to tell you right now. I first saw you at one of the gatherings. I wasn't there. I actually watched one of the, Juggalo shows. And I remember talking to my wife later. I kept going, drink it on down. My dumb redneck ass keeps going, drink it on down. My wife, at some point, she had to go, stop saying that. I go, I can't help it. Like, it's kind of catchy. And then shit, 15, 16 years later, 20 years later, I'm talking to you. So it's kind of interesting. Just fucking around. Violent J can't find your song. What's your second choice?
Fight Club.
Okay.
ICP. Our Halls of Illusion. Halls of Illusion would be one. I don't know, man. We contemplate on him making a new song, but why fix something if it ain't broke? You know what I'm saying?
So you're not coming out to Players Anthem anytime soon?
No.
Okay.
But back when I first started, my song was AC/DC, Back in Black.
Yeah. I honestly thought that's what you were going to pick. I left that open. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, so you always have lemon Bacardi. Is there a reason behind that specific one, or do you just like, you know, a little swig before you go out?
Well, sometimes, like, see, it tastes a lot better than anything else. Like, sometimes, you know, when I taste it, you know, it's not as harsh when you pour it in somebody's mouth. You know what I'm saying? They're like, that ain't bad, you know. But I tried to get a Bacardi sponsorship one time, and they didn't give it to me.
Fuckers.
But I buy the fucking bottles every time. It costs me like $60 every time. Every time I fucking work, I spend an extra $60 for 2 bottles. You know.
So I was gonna ask you about that. Have you ever found it difficult or a hassle going into a new town and having to go buy liquor?
Yeah, I have had that. Like, it happened in Kansas City. Okay, just this past couple Sundays ago when I was in Kansas for GCW, they didn't have no lemon Bacardi. He got me regular Bacardi. You know, and Masha kicked me right. Well, I was gonna light the fist, and Masha came out and kicked me in my mouth for real. I know what size shoes she wears.
I'll ask you a question about that meteorite off the air, though. I do have a good question on that one, because I swear at one point I thought I saw Mance drink the wrong bottle.
You probably did. There's been a lot of people drink the wrong bottle. There's been a lot of people. Like, when nobody asked me, if nobody asked me and they just grabbed the bottle and I'm looking, I can tell when they drink the wrong bottle. So I turned up, what the fuck was that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I saw Mance's face go on fire one night. I went, oh shit, he drank the wrong way. So then we were going to talk about this anyway. Then you want to talk a little bit about Mance Warner, about you and him?
You know, I was at IWA Midsouth. Mance, they used to call Ofer, because he was like 0 for 13, 0 for, you know, never won a match, right? My buddies and them, the back row hecklers, they used to be IWA back row hecklers, and they used to call him Ofer, you know, because he never won a fucking match. But I was Mance's 13th match. It was me and I had a manager, Dutch Mantel, but we worked. You know, he did a favor for me. You know what I'm saying? And I was hot at the time. You know what I'm saying? Or I want to say I was hot. You know, but you know, he did that favor for me. So come back around in Indy when I got to work GCW, me and Mance, I did the favor back for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't mind it, because I've always told him, I said, next time me and you go at it, you know, I got to pay you your favor back, you know, because that kid's hot, man.
He's fantastic. I've got nothing but great fucking good mind on him. Good mind on him for the business. 100%.
Well, he learned from all the old schools. Think about it. He came from the IWA back towards the tail end of it. You know what I'm saying?
And he worships all the old 80s and 90s wrestling too, and the old WCW and stuff.
Yes. And that was the thing too, like CM Punk, fucking, what was it? CM Punk, fucking Chris Hero, Mark Wolfe. Mark Wolfe used to be an IWA, but he was a big tape guy, but he hang out with Punk and Chris Hero, and he used to rent an apartment from me. I had a duplex, I owned a duplex back then. He rented the bottom out, and CM Punk, they would all sit down there and watch wrestling, you know, constantly, you know. But, you know, they was honing in their craft, you know. Fucking Colt Cabana, you know what I'm saying? All these guys, man, are big names now, you know what I'm saying? Look at CM Punk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I was going to tell you something else, too. When I first started out, Dave Prazak was my manager.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of CM Punk, he had a matchup against CM Punk. That one of Dave's few matches.
Yeah.
Was a young CM Punk, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I used to work Punk a lot up in Milwaukee when he first started out. You know,
what company was that for up there?
That was MAW. No, was it MAW? Wisconsin. Fuck. Carmine Despirito.
Bruisers territory?
No. Carmine Despirito. But fuck. MAW?
Yeah.
Mid. Fuck, I don't remember, man. It's been so fucking long ago, man.
Well, yeah, of course.
but we used to go up there a lot and fucking do a lot of work too, and that's what sucks. Uh, maybe I'll remember it here soon.
No, that's
It'll
right, brother.
pop up.
So we got away from it for a second, but I wanted to ask, when was that first time you decided to light your hand on fire?
Well, it was actually a homage to Rolling Hard. He used to do a flaming karate chop, okay? And I stole it from him, and I started doing the flaming punch. You know, and I really started getting into it hot and heavy when he passed away. You know, actually, I would do it before he passed away, but it was homage. You know, that's wrestling. People steal shit all the time and make it theirs. You know, but every time I light my fist, I think about him. You know, because like I said, I stole something, I still got it, and you know, he passed away. God rest his soul.
Well, you know what though? If he would have picked someone to carry it on, that's going to be someone willing, and you're willing, and you know what I mean. It's better than dying with it.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
Yeah. So, so now we went into finding GCW. We're finally at GCW, Tony. It took this long. So I'm hoping you're really seeing and feeling the love you're getting from the fans. Are you kind of noticing?
100%, 100%. You know, and listen, if there was no fans, there would be no wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? And they're giving me the love, you know, and I appreciate it. That's why I'm going out working extra hard for them guys and girls. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and this angle we're doing with GCW, I think it's fucking dope because
love it.
You know, it helps both companies. You know, and which GCW don't need no help, and I don't think JCW needs no help. But we complement each other, you know. And no, I fully support GCW. Those the two companies I'm working for right now, JCW, GCW. Fuck everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
So here's the thing. I really hope that storyline does not stop. I feel like JCW, GCW right now are beautiful twins. You know what I mean? And again, now that the fans have had a chance to warm up to everybody on the JCW side, it'd be a little hard to say goodbye. I'm not gonna lie.
And I'm not going nowhere. Brett's been super fucking good to me, man. Even if this angle does go away, I'm still going to be a GCW. You know, I'm a GCW guy. You know, just like I'm a JCW guy. You know, and I can't like JCW. That's my home. You know what I'm saying? GCW is my home away from home. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you know. And it's been nothing but respect from the GCW fans, you know. You know, I've never listen. I've never did nothing WrestleMania because I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care. But when I got booked for the GCW WrestleMania, I was fucking hyped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you know, Hammerstein. The ballroom. I was fucking hyped, man, because that was shit I never got to do, you know. Yeah. And now all of a sudden I'm getting to do it, you know.
Brother, we didn't talk about it, but I was going to ask you that feeling when you went from the independents into walking out at a gathering of the Juggalos and it's just a sea of people, man. That had to have been a shock.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because think about this. It's you know, going from 100 people to a fucking a million Juggalos, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, man, is that they choose whether you're there or not, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
we lost him for a minute, guys. Stick with us here. Let me go ahead and just put this into single screen just for a minute. The poor guy. All right, here. Let me jump this down and I'll go to here for a second. Give me a second, guys. I'll flip over to a single screen just for a minute. If I can find it. There we go. I'll put it on here for a minute. We're going to have Tony come back. It looks like he was trying to get his charger put in real quick, and I didn't want to, let's see here. All right. There we go. Yep, and here we are. There we
Sorry. I don't know what the fuck just happened.
are. Hey, don't worry. Don't sweat it, man. Yeah, no, it was good. I was telling everybody, he'll be right back.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm enjoying this, man. Like I told you before, I usually don't do interviews, man. It ain't because I don't want to. It's because I feel like I just ramble and fucking get lost and all that shit, you know. But the
good,
way
brother.
that you've been fucking running shit down and I've been reminiscing, you know what I'm saying? It's been fucking dope.
Oh man, I was trying to find it here in the thing, but there were quite a few people said you need your own podcast, like Talking Tough would be a badass little podcast.
That would be dope. That would be dope.
As long as you have a good person to bounce back and forth with, dude. Oh yeah, you're solid. You might want to look into that maybe down the road. Is talking to a couple more people, man. I'm having a good time with you, brother.
Well, no, I'm enjoying it too, man. That's what I'm saying. You know, and I'm honored to be on this. You know, game changer world, right?
Fuck yeah.
Did I say it right? Fuck yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, fuck yeah. It's brand new. So a lot of people have a problem with the name because they were so used to our old name. So
yeah, but it's all good, man. And like I said, you know, I'm honored, I'm humbled, and when you reached out, I was like, fuck yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat, you know, because I wanted to line up more GCW, JCW, you know, mix everybody together and just make this fucking bomb ass fucking sauce we got going.
Well, you're not the first one. Well, you are the first one, but you're not the only one that I definitely want to make sure I talk to at JCW.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, outside of interviews, if we can do everything we can to protect Mickie James, I've been watching her since probably her first or second year wrestling. Protect her at all costs. Oh my God. I said Mickie James. Yeah, Mickey Knuckles. Holy shit.
Mickey Knuckles.
No. Yeah, man. We have to protect her at all costs.
Fun fact, I helped train her too.
No, really?
Yeah.
Okay, now so that I did not know. Shit then. So a fresh-faced Mickie walks in, and I mean, all right, so you taught her the fundamentals. Were you there when she said, you know what, it's time to go hardcore?
I probably was because I was doing hardcore back then, you know. Yeah, you know, there was this lady, and I'm trying to remember her fucking name. Her husband was a preacher, and she was Delilah Starr. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And her husband was a preacher, and she would go do hardcore. What a fucking weird ass fucking combination, right? Mm-hmm. You know, I had to go home to your preacher husband, and they're all cut up. Hey, what happened to you? Oh, well, I got split tonight, you know.
Shit.
But what? But anyway, so young ass Mickie, you know, fucking that was Ian's meal ticket. You see what I'm saying?
Yep, I do. Yeah, I've all the way down to that leg break.
Yeah. What she was starting to get a good little run in TNA, and you know he had to have her back, and you know shit like that happens, man. But shit, like I told you earlier, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and you know, you can't cry over it. It was supposed to happen. You see what I'm saying? And go on with it. Roll with your punches. Get back on that bike and fucking ride again. You know, same way with me when I broke my leg, you know.
Yeah. Who in the GCW locker room has been bringing the most out in you? Is it Tremont or is there someone else out there?
Fucking anytime I'm in there with Mance, John Wayne Murdoch, you know, I'm really starting to fucking who I became friends with and really starting to talk to is Joey Janela. You know, a great fucking dude, and his girl Megan Bain, super sweet girl. You know, I got a funny story with that too. So we're in St. Louis, and we're working. Me and Mickey's working John Wayne Murdoch and Reed Bentley again, and so I'd switch out one of my bottles and put my gimmick in there, right? So I pour the liquor out and I put it in a fucking water bottle. And I set it off to the side. So anyway, later on, fucking Megan comes up to me and goes, "Hey, did you pour your liquor in a water bottle?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I said, "Why?" She said, "I just drank it." She didn't mean to. She grabbed the water bottle thinking it was water and fucking turned it up. And I'd love to see her face when, you know how you drink something, then you think it's one thing and then it's something else and it fucking throws you for a fucking loop. I would have gave anything to see her face at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? And that was lemon Bacardi, so I'm sure she was like, holy shit, you know what I'm saying?
And then
But
she connected in her mind and said, it was Tony.
Yes.
That motherfucker.
Yeah. No, straight up, man. Straight up.
How's the deathmatch scene evolved since you started?
Well, think about it. I mean, there's goods and there's bads, we did a lot of wrestling into the fucking hardcore stuff, like the light tubes and all that. The thing I hate nowadays, and it's just me though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking nobody. I'm not saying nobody's doing it. I just hate somebody swinging the light tube, and then the other person swings the light tube, and then I'm swinging the light tube, and no selling it. So, but so and so has a match over here. He gets hit in the head with the light tube. Now he's got to sell it. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. No, I do. Also, it can be a waste of money if you don't sell it.
Yeah. So I got my plan for that. It's a 9mm on the pole match. Loser gets shot in their leg.
Have it in LA. We would love that shit out here.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, there was a lot of shit we did, and you got these young kids. Look, another thing, Akira. Okay, Akira. I used to be on his fucking ass. He used to come to my training school. I was like, man, don't do the fucking deathmatch stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I said, you're a good looking kid. I said, you can fucking wrestle. Don't do the fucking deathmatch shit. Look at him. He's one of the fucking biggest deathmatch stars right now going. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. He niched his own way, but even though I didn't want him to do it, he still wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy for him.
Sounds like he's smartening up too. I think he's kind of trying to move away from it a little. Money wise, it's limiting. So you kind of have to watch out for that too. So chances are, I mean, he's probably doing something like Atticus is doing, where they're kind of pulling out of the hardcore and ultra-violent scene to take more higher profile matches instead. Is that smarter?
Smart.
Yep.
That is fucking smart. Think about it. You can only do so much in this hardcore wrestling. That was me. So I would do all the fucking hardcore wrestling. I could wrestle. And so I got away from the hardcore wrestling to just the regular wrestling and making just as much money as if I was doing hardcore wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And, earlier I was talking about Japan, Masada. Okay. Masada. He was a young boy over there, and I watched him grow as a deathmatch fighter. You know what I'm saying? And fucking there was a lot of guys that, I was like, man, but they proved me wrong, not saying Masada, but like Akira.
Yeah.
He proved me wrong, and I can say that, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't the best deathmatch fighter, but I was doing it, been doing it, and I'm like, dude, you're too fucking good looking kid. You're going to have all these girls all over you and just fucking wrestle, but you got to get out and see it. Oh, I worked with Nate Webb and fucking split my wrist and, IWA, fucking almost bled out, cut a main artery in my wrist and went another fucking 10 minutes with Nate Webb because I remember watching Sabu and Terry Funk when he ripped his bicep open.
Yep.
And he taped it up. So my dumb ass like, oh, give me some tape. Tape my wrist and went another 10 minutes. And fucking, fucking 60 stitches and 40 stitches on the inside later. And I knew Ian didn't have no fucking money and he didn't have no insurance. So I went to the fucking emergency room under a fake name and like 2 numbers off my social security number. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I do.
So I didn't get I wasn't big into like pain pills and stuff like that. So I didn't get no fucking pain pills afterwards and, whatever. But I didn't give a fuck anyway. But,
A severed vein, right? Not an artery?
Main artery.
Oh, God damn. Oh, man, you lucky.
Yes.
Lucky you fucking made it.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. And you're in the ring, you're looking at it, you're riding adrenaline going, I got to get through this.
It's pouring out like a faucet. It's pouring out like a faucet. Check that match out. Me and Nate Webb, IWA. And that it was probably back in 2005, 6, maybe. I don't remember. But I did that front flip leg drop. I did that front flip leg drop, and I tried to fucking flip the tube under me, and the tube got caught up. And when it broke, it just made like a razor across my wrist, slits me right open.
Man. I want to put this up real quick just to say hello. How you doing, Max Recon? Hey,
I've known Max a long time. I love Max, man.
I still haven't had a chance to talk to Max. He came out here to one of the indoor ranges, and I wanted to hear how it went for him because he went to a range I never been to. So
okay,
yeah. Anyway,
so you're into guns and everything. You like guns?
I was a redneck born.
Yeah. Well, I just bought an AR shotgun. I ain't got to shoot yet.
Dude, you know? Yeah, I haven't. I was looking at. I don't know how much to get in. I used to have a 12 gauge bullpup. Mossberg bullpup, like a riot gun down. You hold it down. Whoo! It looks cool when you're 16, but once you get older, your wrists and shit. It's,
Oh yeah.
So, I'm looking at a new Mossberg 12 gauge. God, I can't even think of the model number on it. It was more like a military style, but it's the one with the A on the end. I can't remember. God, that's terrible. That's embarrassing. It doesn't matter.
No, I do that all the time. It's okay.
I got so many numbers running through my head. You know what I mean? I can't tell you. Son just picked up a nice pistol. So, I mean, yeah, we found a nice outdoor where, I mean, nobody gives us trouble. It's all
right. That's how it is.
Cool people.
So that's how it is here in Louisville. So I go right across the bridge over to Indiana. My buddy's got some property and he's got a gun range right there on his property. So I just go over there and shoot.
Oh, hell yeah. So let me get away from that for a minute here. Any other weapons that you'd rather maybe stay away from? Is there something you don't like using, like gussets or something?
Funny story. Dr. Redacted, because I called him Dr. Reacted. Okay. And on my hardcore speed. But for some odd fucking reason, so we didn't have gusset. We had like tack strips. Yeah. And we might have had gussets, but nobody was using them at that time. He goes, I got these 2 gussets. In my brain, I'm thinking little small panes of glass, right? For some fucking reason, right? Yeah. He goes, put it on my head, just smack them, right? So I get out there and he's coming at me with these gussets. I cut him off and I'm working with the fucking gusset. So I'm thinking, all right, now it's time to fucking put it on his head and smack it. I must have fucking waylaid him. He was like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And because I never used them before, so I really didn't. At first, I worked them good, but I don't know. But in my fucking mind, I'm thinking panes of glass. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
No, they're talking about these fucking metal gussets. You know, I'm thinking gusset. You know, I don't know. That tells you how fucking retarded I am.
Well, I don't think it shows over here, but I took 15 stitches to the head. I used to be an HVAC. So I used to be out on construction all the time. We did rip and repair.
So you'd be up in the attics, hit the fucking nails and shit.
Yep. Fighting with plumbers, all kinds of shit. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Tony, what's been lost to time that you wish pro wrestling had back?
Oh, man. I wish it was you didn't have to be fucking 6'8", 6'10", jacked to the fucking gills. I remember watching fat, short, tall, slim, thuggish, ruggish. You know what I'm saying? All white, all walks of life. But wrestling came around to where you had to be a certain size. You had to be big. You had, you know what I'm saying? Had to be over 6'5". You know, I wish they would get back to what it was back in the day, which it's starting to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Look, Kevin Owens in fucking WWE, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, he wouldn't have cut in 1985.
No. Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then you have people like Rey Mysterio and shit. He was just, you know, there was no denying that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even how small he is, you know, that was like my what's his name? Oh fuck! Oh, dude from AEW with Luchasaurus.
Um,
Marco Stunt.
yeah.
Marco. You know, I know Marco. He fucking for a long time before he even made it big too. But you know, he just made it in there because he would work his ass off. You know, he would take these crazy fucking bumps from these bigger guys and made the guys look a lot bigger. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so. But we need shit like that, you know, Jake and the Fat Man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what's funny is someone said the one thing they'd like to have get back would be kayfabe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's never
the
going to happen. That's never going to happen because you got fucking green guys training green guys, and now they're wrestlers. You got everybody their mom. See, Tracy Smothers used to tell me there's more marks in the back than there is out in the crowd. He would make more money in the back off the boys than he would out in the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
I say that wrestlers are wrestling fans who are in shape.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I put it. They're wrestling fans who are in shape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't love wrestling, what the hell are you doing out there taking the time that you do for what money you do?
I got a training school, and it's almost like it's totally different than the way I got trained because they beat my motherfucking ass to see if I'd come back. You know what I'm saying? And well, this retarded guy right here, I kept coming back. You know, and they was like, I guess he's gonna be a fucking wrestler. You know, we're gonna let him in. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. It wasn't that you could just be trained and be a wrestler. No, you know, you had to have been brought in, you know, and I think that's what we need to get back to. Yeah.
You were the tail end of that.
Yeah. Yes. And like I said, my other trainer, Ronnie. So I got Myron Reed, Mitchell Huff, and Ronnie Roberts are my three trainers at my school. And Ronnie wanted to beat their ass. And I was like, man, we can't, you know, it's not new day, new age. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that because they'll just go to another school, you know. But yeah, it's got babyfied, you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I've noticed with hardcore and death matches, there's a bigger focus on cutting more than ever, I feel like. And I feel like that if there was any semblance of strong style still left, outside of maybe a couple performers, that shit's gone. That's gone. Also, I mean, dude, some of the wrestlers from your opening era, they didn't make more than a couple years, and they couldn't. Their bodies in their 20s, dude, their bodies just couldn't handle it.
Okay, let's talk about another kid, and I'm going to call him kid because he was wrestling and it just came up while I've been wrestling. You know, it just came up to the scene. Drake Younger.
Yep.
You know, what a fucking, you know, we can go on and on. Just like I said in my deathmatch Hall of Fame speech, you know, East Coast had Danny Havoc. We had JC Bailey. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Danny Havoc was the shit. JC Bailey was the shit. Brain Damage. You know, Marvin. You know,
man.
You know, and like I said, you know, for my deathmatch Hall of Fame plaque, that's who I dedicated all that to. That was for them. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Marcus Crane. You know, another one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't know, man. You know, we can go on and on. You know, I always think back like my era was Sick Nick Mondo, White Beater, Justice Payne, Nick Gage. You know, they was the East Coast. Midwest was me, Ian Rodden, Axel Rodden, fucking Bull Payne, fucking Pondo. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus.
And
looking back, that's fucking wild, man. I don't give a shit. Listen to those names and the work that they've put in looking back. We didn't know what we had.
No, not at all.
No.
You never know what you got until it's gone.
Truth.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Truth.
You know, and you're like, fuck, we had that. Why didn't we take better advantage of that? Or, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it wasn't the right time for the shit, you know, because right time, right place, get the right opportunities, you know.
In your second half of your career, is there anyone that you're learning a little bit from? Not because you wanted to, but because someone's hitting you with something a little different. And
Well, here's the thing. Anytime I get in the ring, I learn every fucking time, you know, how to be better, what's what. And, you know, it's a new day, new age out there. There's a lot of new shit going on, you know, and, you know, I like going in there and hitting my greatest hits, you know what I'm saying? But I still like working. I like to pick people's brain. What do you think? You know, but it's there, you know what I'm saying? And I think like the deathmatch scene's in good hands right now. You know, you got Atticus, Dr. Redacted, you know, them guys, even fucking John Wayne Murdoch, you know, I remember him when he wasn't even John Wayne Murdoch. You see what I'm saying? You know, all of it's good, man. You know, them kids are paving the way for the people below them, you know, just like I paved the way for the people below me. You know, and it's a revolving door. You know.
Unbelievable.
The fucked up thing is the kids are making money nowadays. You see what I'm saying? We didn't make no money back then.
No.
You know, now the kids, you know, with the internet and all that shit, people are fucking making a killing, you know. Names getting out there a lot more. You know, back then it's the tapes. Oh, I got this tape. You ever seen this dude?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And now you can just type a name in, pull them right up, and get all the shit from Cage Match. You know, true or false. You know what I'm saying? But
yes,
you know, you got so many outlets that you can go to and research somebody. Back in 2000, you couldn't do that.
Oh, fuck no. I would have had to go off everything I've learned from you. Everything my friend said, whatever I have in my tape collection, and that'd be it.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, what I see and what I heard.
Well, and you know what? You know what's fucked up? I didn't know they had a best of two Tuff Tony either. I never knew that. I remember one time we was out in California and we was at a fucking record store. And I'm looking fucking through shit, and I pull out this fucking wrestling DVD. It's a hardcore DVD, and it had a picture of me and Pondo on the front of it. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, Big Vision? Who the fuck's Big Vision? You know what I'm saying? So I called my buddy Kevin Gill, which, you know, Kevin knew a lot of fucking, you know, out in California. He was a wrestling encyclopedia out that way. And I said, hey, who's the fuck's Big Vision? You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's like, I forgot what he said the guy's name was, and that he bought a bunch of shit off of Ian, but I never signed nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a bunch of loopholes. Fucking other people were making money, and we never made no money. You know what I'm saying?
It's bullshit.
Yeah, well, it's part of fucking
independent wrestling. Every time I get disappointed or every time I hear some bullshit, I go independent wrestling.
Independent wrestling. That's right. That's right.
Do you have any wrestlers or companies still on your radar? Or are you feeling pretty good? I mean, companies, it sounds like you're feeling good.
Here's the thing. I'm happy with what I'm doing right now. JCW, GCW. I'm so fucking busy right now. You know, a lot of times it ain't about the money. You know what I'm saying? Because I respect Joe and I respect Brett. And what I say about that, I make a pretty good living what I'm doing. And my school's doing really good. Which I don't make no money off my school because I turn around and put it right back into the fucking school. You know what I'm saying? I went in the lights on. I went in the hole almost 50 grand to buy into that building. You know what I'm saying? So and all them kids know that. It's not no fucking secret. You know, and I tell them everything, and I don't hide nothing. And you know, right now I'm enjoying it. You know, I'm enjoying GCW, and I love every time getting booked with Brett. I love every time getting booked with Joe. Right now they ain't conflicting with each other. You see what I'm saying? And everything's smooth selling.
Take it where you can get it, right?
Yeah. So my
One,
favorite match in GCW so far was me and Mance Warner, though,
no
when we
shit.
worked in Indianapolis. And yes.
Interesting. All right. Ooh, here's a good one. One person living or dead in wrestling that you'd like to talk to. Who is it? And what you
Bruiser
both
Brody.
talking about? What you going to talk about with Bruiser?
And we're going to talk about how he got stabbed in that fucking shower and why.
You want the real story?
Yeah, exactly.
We kind of know how that went, though. Isn't it kind of funny? It was just a stabbing and a cover up because you know local authorities are dirty.
Yeah, well, of course.
Oh, wow. Yeah. What are you gonna
Every
get,
time
Nick?
I went to Mexico, I didn't listen. I remember getting picked up in Reynosa, crossing the border. They pick us up in this fucking van, and I'm sitting in the front seat, and I look over, and there's a bunch of federales, and they got their hands on the fucking trigger. Right, and I look over, and like the gun's like pointed at the fucking thing. You know, he ain't pointing on purpose. He just got it sitting there, right? And I'm thinking, man, they hit a fucking bump. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of ease my seat back right where the metal, at least give me a little help.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know. I just know they like when I went to Mexico, they was like stay in the hotel unless you got somebody with you. You know what I'm saying? And then Picano was like, hey, I want you to go to Juarez. And I'm like, fuck no, I ain't going to Juarez. They hang motherfuckers there.
Yep.
You know, he's like, no, you'll be all right, take the bus. And I'm like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we used to go to Mexico City a lot. So they'd fly us right into Mexico City. And we'd get off there and they'd pick us up. But I never had no trouble over there, you know.
Got one for you. What would the young you think is the coolest thing about you now?
Oh, young me, I think was cool as shit. That you're still going, you know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah.
That you're fucking still wrestling, you know, 29 years later. You know, when, like you said yourself, a lot of these people didn't last 2 or 3 years.
Nah.
And they was out, you know. I knew what was right and I knew what was wrong. I want to think that. I want to know what was right and what was wrong. And I want to believe that I took care of myself and I took care of my opponent, you know, and to be able to fight another night, you know, and it's went on like that for 29 years. And, you know.
Damn, man. Got one last real question for you.
Okay.
We'll have a couple fun ones. We'll bounce you out of here so you don't have to. Is there something about you or your character you wish people knew better or would like to set straight in any way? Or do you feel like you've been pretty straightforward?
I feel like I've been pretty fucking straightforward. You know, I've lied a little bit, you know.
Independent wrestling.
Yes. But I don't want to kill out my mystique, you know what I'm saying? I want to keep people, you know, Lowell Town drunk, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's a character I love, but it's like a character that's not me. You see what I'm saying? It was me, but it's not me today. You see what I'm saying? But I'm still doing it. You see what I'm saying?
Love it.
You know, as a father, as a kid, I don't want him thinking that's cool. You know what I'm saying? My daughter's 26, so she already knows all that. But I don't want him growing up saying, "Oh, well, I got to drink to be cool," or you know what I'm saying, shit like that. You know, that goes for other parents that brings the kids. You know what I'm saying?
That's
it's cool. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, but it's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Because when I see these young kids looking at me and saying, hey, you know, I love you, or you know, whatever, and I'm just thinking, man, I'm putting up the wrong fucking aura to these kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel like it's not a good positive. Like I like to do. I like, you know, being positive. You know. But I'm gonna keep it's me. You know what I'm saying? It's something I started, and I'm gonna finish it out. But that's in my brain. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? As a father,
I like what you're doing. What's right here. I think that's very fair, and I think it is the right thing to do. There's a deep philosophical, ultra-violent thing we won't go into here, but sounds like you're doing more to take care than you are to damage, and that's very smart here.
Right. And you know, and that's wrestling, man. I want to leave it better than when I found it. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Okay. Take a breather, Tony. Fun questions. You can go as quick as you want to. Do you have any pets?
Yeah, I got. Well, I had 2 dogs. Both of them died.
Oh, man.
It's all good. You know, they live great lives. They had lavish lives. They got more than what I got. They got fed better than me, but you know,
Mine too.
but I
Right
got
now.
2 cats now, and both of them I saved outside. It's crazy.
Good. Hell yeah. Did you just find them, or did they wander on the
Well,
property?
the one cat, I bought some guardrails one time, and I left the pallet out here in my driveway, and somehow this cat just started living in that pallet. Didn't have its mom. I'd sit out here and smoke cigarettes, watch cars go by, and look stupid. And I see this cat playing in my neighbor's yard. I'm like, you know, I didn't see no other cats around it. It would just be out there playing or whatever. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to catch this fucking cat, you know. So that's what I did. I bought me some fucking tuna and got me a trap, put the tuna in there, went to bed, woke up about 3 a.m. I went out there to check my trap, and I had this fucking cat, right? So I split it up on my porch until the next morning. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with this fucking cat? It's a feral cat, you know, really don't want to be bothered, you know, or whatever. So my dumb ass opens my fucking front door, opens the fucking cage, and that motherfucker runs out right into the fucking house, right? And so, but it took a long time for that cat to come up and start fucking with us. And when somebody comes over, you won't see this cat. And then about 6, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, maybe 9 months, I don't know. Fucking my wife was across the street. And I came out here and sit down and smoke a cigarette, and I'm hearing these fucking birds, and it's starting to get dark, which I thought was birds. You know what I'm saying? It just sounded like fucking birds. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, right? And then she comes out of the apartments across the street, and she sits down on the sidewalk. I know she's not hurt because she would have hollered for me. And then she comes across the street. She got this sad fucking face, like little boohoo face. And I said, what's the matter? I said, you want me to help you help you with something? She goes, yeah. So I was like, all right. I said, what's the matter? She said, it's a baby cat. And that was what was making the fucking bird sounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and this thing was no bigger than my fucking hand, you know? And so I was like, all right, come on, I'll go help you. So I walked down the bottom of my fucking steps, and all of a sudden this little fucking baby cat fucking shoots across the street over to my side. So it chose us, you know, and
yeah.
So I called his little ass, and now he's in the house too. But I had to, I took both of them to have them fixed, so I wouldn't have no fucking babies.
Yeah.
But I got 2 cats. The moral story is I got 2 fucking cats.
Favorite sports or sports team? Do you have sports at all in your house?
Yeah, I got I got the fucking streaming box, super stream box that I get all the pay-per-views and all that shit. But it's got the sports channels. It's got sports package. You know what I'm saying? I'm a football guy when football's on. Not too big on basketball. I watch a little bit, but baseball a little bit. You know, I like college baseball. Boxing. I like boxing, and I like UFC. You know.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a football guy through and through. More than anything since
that's me
child.
too. Who's your team?
It was the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
You don't know how hard of a life that is.
Well, okay, I got one better than that. I was a Cincinnati Bengals fan.
Oh shit, man.
Okay,
hey, man,
yeah.
Let me
check this out.
Icky Woods.
So I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. You either the Indianapolis Colts or the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
And everybody's a Colts fan, so I went Cincinnati Bengals. And that's when Refrigerator Perry and all them motherfuckers were there.
Dude, Boomer Esiason was a badass. Yeah. Icky Woods, I remember him.
Yeah. The Icky Shuffle.
Dude, there was a wide receiver core there that was a badass group of people. Yeah, I remember because sometimes, I mean, okay, so I lived on a farm, like I told you. We only had 5, 6 channels sometimes. So whatever was shown was what you were a fan of for the next 3 hours, you know? So when Cincinnati was good, they wouldn't show us Cleveland or Pittsburgh. They'd actually show us Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, you're right. They want you to watch the better team.
Hell yeah. It was either that or whatever dad wanted to watch on the TV. So go with football. Do you collect anything?
Yeah, I do. My son collects wrestlers, so I'm always buying fucking wrestlers for him. I collect, I don't know, man. Fucking, I like cars. So I got a few cars that old cars that I like working on, and I collect. You can say I collect cars. I got two 68 Olds Cutlasses, one a hardtop, one a convertible. I got a 62 Impala that I'm still
Dude.
working on. I got a 55 Buick, and I just bought my old lady a 67
Oh my God.
Mustang. But I'm not giving it to her. I'm not giving it to her until September for her birthday.
Well, don't show her this episode.
Yeah, I hope she don't see it. I just fucked up, didn't I? You better blur that one out.
Nah, there's only a couple thousand of us watching. She don't. They don't. We're good, brother. Worst shoot job you've ever had?
Skyline Chili.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the worst. That's when they used to serve alcohol there. So I went and worked there. Well, my buddy was the manager. So we would get drunk and then walk Bardstown Road, which was like the liveliest area. So I would go there and work for a little bit, and then we drink beer all night, and then fucking go walk Bardstown Road.
Wow.
Oh, I did do a telephone marketing thing one time, and I got caught hustling because I would call my friends and be like, "Yeah, tell them you're going to buy some shit, right?"
Yeah.
And then so anyway, we'd call them, they'd buy some shit, and they'll come to find out they would never buy the shit, but we was making a little extra money or whatever, but finally got caught and got fired.
Well, at least they didn't ask for the money back. Could have been worse,
right. It was already spent. I was broke then.
Man, here's a fun one for you. Do you have any ghost stories or spooky stories, something that happened over your life you can't explain?
No. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I've never seen no ghost. I've never had anything but I believe in aliens because we're here. There's got to be somebody else out there. You know what I'm saying?
We're going to start this conversation, but yeah, it kind of makes sense that since time is that there's got to be something out there. Life is so large.
We're here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be something else out there. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. Just by the numbers, the world is so expansive. Space is so expansive. By the numbers, there have to be. Right. I don't know how many. And
for ghosts, I really never been. Never seen no ghosts or had any ghosts. Ghostly stories or anything.
Yeah. I love asking that question. It's always fun because every now and then we'll get caught with a really good story.
Right.
I think it was Cole Radrick said that one of the houses of his friends was part of the Underground Railroad and it was just haunted as shit.
That'd be dope.
And then you're from the area too. Did you ever have any friends or know of any places that were part of the Underground Railroad?
I don't know about the Underground Railroad, but I know we got Waverly Hills is supposed to be haunted.
Oh, the crazy place.
Yes. Yeah. They do tours there all the time, and you could actually sometimes spend the night, or they do a overnight stay or whatever, But yeah.
Okay, so you're a guy who obviously works with his hands. You like your cars. If there's a skill that you'd like to master, a craft or a skill, what would it be?
My brother had a flooring company. I worked there. Lawn care. I like take care of my yard. I tried boxing one time. I didn't like it. I was a better street fighter than a boxer. I don't know, man. I would say I'd be a pimp because my pimp hand's strong.
As it should be. That's UGK. That's all the shit you're listening to on the road.
Exactly.
In your travels, have you fallen in love with any area of the country or world you'd consider?
Yeah, Utah, Oregon, all that out that way. It's gorgeous out there. If I wasn't married, if I didn't have a girl, I'm not married, but we've been together 30 something years. But if I didn't have a girl, I'd probably move to Rhode Island because there are like 7 girls to every guy. You wouldn't have no problem getting no Ned in there, you know.
Nice. Okay. Let's make this your last one. Spitfire. We're gonna talk about Little Tony. What video game did you kick ass at when you were a kid?
Excite Bike.
Oh fuck yeah! All right,
and then Pong. I play Pong. You know, now you're talking about shit before even Atari came out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like ColecoVision and stuff like
that.
Yeah,
ColecoVision.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was born in '79. My mom and dad had different things. So yeah, I started on a black and white 13-inch with Atari.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Atari in color for the first time. I was like, oh shit, look at that. Yeah, man. Yeah. What music were you listening to back then?
Back then, I used to roller skate, so I was anything with roller skate, UTFO, EPMD, fucking MC Breed, you know.
MC Breed, dude. Ain't no future in your front.
Your front, that's right.
Wow.
You know, I got real good friends with him, man. And he passed away, but man, me and him was clicking and we was hitting it real good, you know, just good dude. So was Esham. Esham the Unholy, you know, Esham, me and Esham hit it right off, man. Let's see, Houdini, Cool Mo D.
Cool Mo D. Girls ain't nothing but trouble. The Wild Wild West. I remember that on tape.
DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Fuck yeah. Girls ain't nothing but trouble.
Yeah. Fuck.
Parents just don't understand.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, man. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
I had a younger mom
back then.
I had a younger mom, so I was growing up on MTV. Cool stuff.
Yeah. Fuck man. Yeah.
Yeah, my first tape was Def Leppard, Hysteria. Like Pour Some Sugar on Me, that album.
I think my first tape was either Run DMC or Beastie Boys.
Oh, License to Ill.
Yes.
That was a badass tape too.
I bet if I still had that fucking tape, it'd be worth a bunch of money right now.
Ooh. Last 3 things. Favorite cartoon?
I'm simple. Me and my son watch Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing all your classics from when you were a kid, like Bugs Bunny, stuff like that, or no?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
good stuff.
It was Saturday mornings. It was Saturday morning cartoons, and it would just keep running. That's before they had Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and all that shit, you know.
Favorite toy? Is there one you remembered as a kid you really liked?
Yeah, I used to play with Hot Wheels. I used to play with G.I. Joes until I found firecrackers. And then I started blowing the shit up, you know. Yeah, I would play Army with all the girls. I'd lay down, they'd blow me up.
Yeah, I like that one. I was getting ready to say I had the only person I had growing up was a neighbor girl. So I forced her to play G.I. Joe. She forced me to play Barbies. So one day she left her My Little Ponies over at the house. So I fucking lined them up like I was playing football. So that's what I did with my time was I lined them up like football. And yeah, she didn't like it very much.
Well, see, you should have played war with her.
I made her. Okay, she used to beat the shit out of me. We used to wrestle all the time and fight in the backyard, and mom would complain because she would put full fingernails into my face and shit. Yeah. I figured later in life she was probably a little imbalanced, but she was really nice when she was younger.
Right.
The story of my life. Celebrity crush. Who were you into back then?
Wow.
That's a rough one.
I'm gonna say probably like Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, nice call.
You know, I probably rubbed a couple out to her, you know what I'm saying?
Renaissance man.
Yeah. Pamela Anderson.
Yep.
You know, Fuck, and this is gonna fucking probably be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Punky Brewster.
No lie, actually, Moon Fry, Soleil Moon Fry.
Yeah.
She's actually came from the same era. I remember that show.
Yeah.
We've heard a lot of people say Topanga, the girl from Boy Meets World,
oh,
some
yeah.
of the younger guys.
Well, I couldn't say that because listen, I couldn't say that because then I'd be a pedophile. Oh, yeah, you like that young girl?
Yeah,
that's why I went up. I like me, Betty White. I try to fuck Betty White. You know, you ain't gonna get me like that.
Just one good role.
Yeah.
Just find out what it was all about in the 40s.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I've got almost everything done on my side. There was one or two questions I marked from fans. He said, what's your thoughts on the possible gathering of the Juggalos collective with various promotions? Do you think that's going to be a possibility?
Oh, that would be dope. You know, I think that's a big possibility because you know, just these different companies coming in and running the gathering, you know, and we've had that before, kindly. We had the midget show there, we had an all-girl show, we had JCW, and then we had like our oddball bonanza, which was just all death matches, crazy death matches.
I was pushing for Brett to get micro wrestling because they're from Vegas. I don't think they're filling 2,000 seats, but I think that's
Billy Blade's group, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Well, so you know, I used to travel with the midgets, which was Puppet and them. Me and Pondo used to, and it'd be me and 3 midgets in one bed.
Huh. Okay, hold on. Let me do the math. So, so 2 are laying off, and then one.
They're all 3 laying on the side, long ways, and I would have a chair. I would have a chair for my feet, and I would lay long ways too. You know, sideways, instead of straight up and down, we'd go sideways.
So if all 3 got pissed off, could they take you, or do you think you could take all 3?
Well, fucking, you ever seen an angry midget?
First of all, they're strong as fuck.
Yes.
That's what I've noticed. Like strong as shit, like unbelievably strong somehow.
Well, I owned 2 midgets at one time. Okay.
Okay, so we have had some trouble.
T.O. and Puppet. I mean, not Puppet. Meatball. And Meatball lived in Somerset, Kentucky, and he once he came to my house, he didn't want to fucking leave, right? And me and T.O., when T.O. came over my house, he liked getting on the fucking phone chat things and talk to these girls and shit.
Yeah,
you know. But T.O.'s still my buddy. He works for Billy out there in Vegas, you know. But I'm no T.O. and Puppet. Well, Puppet passed away. But yeah, fucking, I got a spot in my heart for the midgets, you know.
I thought that would have been a fun thing to see. Just because for some people they've never seen it before. And honestly, I really do feel like they need to be seen. I think what they're doing is actually
they're an oddity. Think about it. They're like a fucking 7-foot guy. They're an oddity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They need to be seen. You know, which brings me back to was it Hammerstein when I had Micro Man and I picked him up like a little kid?
Yeah.
And walked him out to the middle. So my buddy goes, "Oh, you gave him a kick to the midsection." And I was like, "No, I didn't." Where the fuck is the midsection on the little guy? You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Yeah. But what a trooper, Micro Man. You know what I'm saying? Give it up to Micro Man.
Hey, no shit, just because it's GCW. Okay, put on your cap for a second here on this one. Him as a champion for just a small amount of time would be amazing, based on the fact that when someone has a wrestling match with him, that wrestling match is more based on the performer's creativity. And that's why Micro Man's matches have all been so different, because like FE does his thing with him, and booking wise, I just think GCW fans would see the humor in the fact that this guy is doing this. And well, I'm not against it.
The only problem there, he's got a short temper.
I'll tell you what, if we could, if he was capable of speaking English, it would be lights out.
Yeah.
Just because the people want to get behind him, and they do. So,
Well, I ain't gonna say no names, but they said, have you ever seen him eat a Big Mac?
No shit. I've never met her. So I'll go through the last two parts here. This is just basically Juggalo. He's one of the gentlemen who always comes in here. He's always a huge Juggalo fan. He just basically said, so the Juggalo invasion of backyard wrestling has begun. Do you feel like there may be something that goes on there, or you haven't heard anything?
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't heard nothing about the 4th of July. So,
Gotcha.
you know, I would say we got the thing coming up on the 17th in Detroit. It's a collaboration, GCW, JCW, and we're putting them both on Fight TV on our channel and on another channel. So, you know, and
good.
what I've been told is JCW is going to have 3 matches and GCW is going to have 3 matches. So it's like a showcase of both companies.
I love it. Honestly, I love the whole concept. Also, same thing. I mean, that's going to get a lot of performers at GCW that's never been in, you know, in that big of a crowd to kind of have that feeling and get the adrenaline and feel what it's like, get that taste a little bit. So I love that too.
You know what you didn't talk about? You didn't talk about TNA when I was in TNA.
No. You want to go back to that for a minute? We can, by all means, man.
No. I'm just saying we missed some shit. That's what I'm saying. I forget.
That's what happened.
I did more shit.
Yeah.
And then I forget until something pops up and I'm like, because Conan, we were smoking some weed and then Conan got in there and his fucking back went out because after he hit the blunt.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of crazy shit that happened in TNA. Well, you remember that dude, Johnny Fairplay?
Yeah.
Me, Joe, and Corp caught him in the Bar None up there in Nashville. We was going to beat his ass. And we decided to let him go. He started crying. But, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit, man.
Well, that's the thing. I'm actually sitting on 16 questions I turned down. And that's after I took out probably another 20 or 30. Dude, I did homework on you. And then I went, shit, I've got 2 episodes or more on him.
Well, then we'll have to come back and we'll touch some bases on some other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I appreciate you having me, bro. And I hope everybody that's listening got, you know,
little something.
Yeah, a little something out of it.
Brother, let's close here before we do any more. Yeah, I've got another. I do have another probably hour, 2 hours down the road with you.
Okay.
I can definitely hit you up again, or if you get antsy,
hit me up. Listen, I'd be more than happy anytime. You know what I'm saying?
We try to treat everyone with respect here too.
Listen, you've been nothing but respectful, and you know, I'm very honored and I'm very humbled that you know you gave me the opportunity to come on here and speak to the Juggalos and speak to GCW fans, you know, and give them a little taste of Tuff Tony, you know.
It was a big talking point this week amongst a lot of people that you were going to be on here tonight.
I don't see that. You see what I'm saying? I just don't see that. You know what I'm saying? And my girl always says, well, you know, whoop, whoop, whatever. And I'm like, you know, I just don't see it. You know, I'm just a basic dude, man, that, you know, enjoys life and, you know, very, very honored to be able to do what I've been able to do, you know, because a lot of people don't get to do it.
It's a blessing that you can make it this long period, still walking, still doing your thing, man. Also, I want to say this, not bitter. It's nice to hear someone towards the end of their career that has a certain amount of peace to them. And, you know, it's obvious you've put a lot of thought into quite a few things, especially with the wrestling school. I do honestly believe, even as a fan who watches things like this, I do believe there's a place for what you're doing, and there needs to be, because this was originally for kids more than anything else. So we have to remember that before we get away from that too much, because a lot of the magic was for kids.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's the thing with like my school, I teach them right. It ain't like that, you know, I teach these kids how to work on the fly. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, look, if you're driving into town and you get hit by a fucking, let's just say a big ass fucking wreck happens, Now you're set back 2 hours. As soon as you get to the building, you got to go into the fucking ring and work. You got to learn how to work on the fucking fly. You know, I've had some of my best matches working on the fly. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Kerry Morton gave me the best fucking compliment. I had one of my kids work Kerry, and he goes, Tony, he goes, that fucking kid, he said, he went in there, we worked on the fly. He said, I was late. He said, as soon as I got there, I put on my boots and my music was playing. He said, went out there and had a hell of a fucking match with this kid. I said, yeah, because we teach them how to work on the fly, you know, because you never know what the fuck's going to happen. He goes, man, he goes, I wish all these wrestling schools would do that, you know. And that was just one of the things I pride myself on. You know, my trainers are, you know who Myron Reed is?
Oh, yeah.
The young goat.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's one of my trainers, you know, and he's very smart. And then Reverend Ronnie Roberts, you know, he's been around a long time, and you know, he's one of my business partners at Grindhouse, you know, and like when I go do these GCW and JCW shows, I miss a lot of my own shows because I do the 4 Sundays of the month at 3:00 right there in Jeffersonville, 1416 Spring Street. And the last 3 months, I missed every one of my fucking shows. But I got a good crew around me that can handle it while I'm gone. That's the way I set it up, you know. And so we're going to be fine, man. I think wrestling's going to be fine. I think that I love seeing these kids get into death matches and then say, "Oh, okay, maybe I'll go back to wrestling." You know?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you know what though? If you know your boundaries, that can be smart.
Yeah,
yeah. Because if you don't have your head on straight,
think about this. A lot of people do dip and dabble because they see the success some people are having. They're like, "Well, shit, I need to try this." You know what I'm saying? Oh, they're getting a fucking, you know, a good look. Look at Shotzi. Think about this. Look at Shotzi. Went to the fucking WWE, didn't have no fucking death matches. Come back to GCW, first fucking day back in the death match. You know what I'm saying?
You know, we're the cool thing right now too for a lot of people. So everybody likes to stop by for at least one. You know, we're the cool bar. Come by, have a drink. Just say you did.
Come by and have a drink. Right. But see, I'm going to be that old drunk at the end of the bar. I'm going to be around for a while.
Someone's got to keep the stool warm, you know?
That's right. That's right. Right.
Is there anything you wanted to say or shout out before I let you go, Tony?
Yeah, man. I want to thank Brett, and I want to thank GCW fans. I want to thank my family, the Juggalos, for the support that they give me. And thank you to the GCW fans for their support. You know, I'm just a guy from Louisville, Kentucky, trying to do his things. Brother don't carry down the street that I'm going to a wrestling show and going to wrestle. You know, Trace Smothers. I had to throw a little Trace Smothers in there. But, check out Grindhouse Pro Wrestling. It's WERGrindhouse.com. Check us out, man. You know, we got a lot of good shit going on. I'm thinking about getting Twitter, and I'm thinking about getting Instagram and all that shit. And I'm old school, man. I still got a floppy disk.
Well, but, yeah. Mine's still working, but if I hit 50 to 55 and mine goes floppy, it's yeah.
No, I'm talking about like the Apple, the old Apple, the floppy disk.
I'm fucking with you.
I know. I'm bullshit. I'm trying to get off that. Yeah. But thank you. Thank you for having me on Game Changer Wrestling Podcast. And, you know, I'm very humbled and I'm very honored. El Juggalo, what'd you say?
He said, no joke, you could easily tape a weekly YouTube show and get it off the ground. Again,
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, tough talk with Tony. You could, too tough. There's a way.
That was one thing that Tracy used to tell me. He goes, man, you should open up a bar. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, man, everybody comes over and tells you their problems, and you'll sit there and talk to them. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I don't want to open no fucking bar. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to be in that bitch every day, you know?
Yeah, you get paid to hear stories. It could be good. It could be bad.
Right. Could be either one, you know, but
Havoc Wrestling, happy to hear what Too Tough Tony had to say tonight. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Also, thank you. We have another one that said, see you on Lunacy this Thursday.
Yep.
Doing good, guys. Reed Harris Cooper says we got a lot coming up this week. Are you going to cover it? No, we're not going to cover it. We don't do it during interviews. I hate to have an interview and then we have a bunch of dated material in there. It kind of feels weird. I'll keep everybody updated through the week. And if anybody has any questions, you know how it is. DM me. We're good from there. And you see, we got your shout outs in. Tony, stick with me. I'm going to say goodbye over here on this end. On the back end, when no one's talking, I want to tell you goodbye and thank you.
Okay,
for everything.
cool. No problem. I appreciate everything. Thank you, fans, for tuning in and listening to my bullshit.
We fucking love you guys. I'm going to go ahead and jump over here real quick. Let's get this rolling. We will see you on the other side. Boom, boom. And it's outro time. Have a great night, guys. Long live GCW.
Whoop, whoop.
Woo. Ah, there it was.